put the microphone on. Howdy, 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 howdy. I'll tell you what, I've been a complete and utter mess. That I have. Right, now just double check everyone's okay. Levels are good. Okay. Well, I do apologise. I've just been a complete technical mess, as you can probably tell. First of all, I managed to mess everything up, as I do. So I had to do it again. Then I pressed start streaming. And I just realised I didn't have the microphone on for the first few minutes. So, yes, have I gone deaf? Yes, Simon says. No, you haven't. No. That's me being an idiot again. I do apologise, so... Oh, what an idiot I am. I can't help it. Anyway, I want to talk about what's going on in the Ukraine, and not just what's going on in the Ukraine, really, but the aftermath of it. What's you know, if, for instance... Not if, for instance. If and when it's, you know, it stops, hopefully. Don't know when. What's next? And in this stream, I don't want to. I'm not going to try and disparage. Put light on the crisis which these people, what these people are going through at the moment. I just can't imagine. You have the shields on the other foot. I feel very fortunate that I'm not, obviously, or my family, in that situation. God, I'm in the mess. I'll tell you. Stuff everywhere. Panic, 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 panic. That's what I've been doing. Running around like an idiot. Then I realised I had my hat on, so I had to go get my hat. Away hat. Well, I'm ready. Oh dear. So I do apologise for keeping everybody waiting. And I'm doing a slightly different... Well, I'm doing a little bit different today. I've actually just bullet pointed everything. So hopefully I can be a little bit more spontaneous. Instead of doing my usual kind of in my little window, I'm going to give it a go anyway. See if I can... be a bit more fluid. Yeah. No? Okay. Anyway, who have we got here first? Anyway, before we see that the chat disappears. Crikey, there's lots of... Right, okie dokie. So, we've got Jasper, Art Trader, Mo Green, whatever, Charlotte, Lucy Withers, just saying. I got your I saw your thing earlier. I might actually do a video on that regarding how many people have, if I can find out that is, because I take a bit of research. We've got insolvent since Brexit. That'd be quite interesting, actually. Brian Maguire, greetings, citizens, he goes. And Conservator, hello, buddy. How you doing? And Ginger Giraffe, hello all. Mad Monk 33. And Orc. Oh, yes, I'm late again because I messed up. Yes, technical issues with my brain. Basically, I put all my little bits and pieces in already and done it. Then somehow I managed to, not to leave them, but kind of got more jumbled up. So I had to start again. I think it's just me trying to over-egg the pudding, trying to do too much. Maybe. I think so. Oh, so fake Conservator, yeah, you noticed. He does hide, buddy. Chris Murphy. And Charlotte. Oh, Charlotte. Coffee, check. Cookies, check. Cats, check. Well, for me, it'd be cats, dogs. No longer the chickens. No longer the sheep or the lambs. No. I've got the coffee. Caroline's prepped me up with my coffee. Ready? I've actually even got what's left of a bottle of wine because I ration myself now, you see. And I don't drink during the week at all. So just on the weekends now. So other than that, I'm just completely caffeinated. Oh, and Chris Murphy, you got. Oh, who else we got about? Joa. Oh, Ardbagan is Marcus on his way. Oh, from the front line. That'll taste of those Frontex. They're frisky little devils they are, I'll tell you. You got to be careful. And I just remembered, I've done all my little bits and pieces, and I don't know which one's which. I haven't marked them. Damn it. Never mind. Oh, coming down here. Oh, you've got sound now, haven't you? There's sound now, isn't there? Mellow. There's definitely sound now. Much better. Oh, good. But I mean, there's lots of chat. I like the chat. Right. And Hank. Hello, Hank. Hank Durham. Hello, planet. Greetings from World Power, the Netherlands. Oh, soft about sandwich, ham sandwich, I would say. And Timothy Simpkins, hi. Hello, Chris Murphy. Hey, Joe, hi. From Dublin. It's quite nice, actually. Some of you people have been with us for quite a long while now. And I'm still here. Simon says 55. Oh. We need to see that camera Sunak giving donations. Paul Sunak, Russia, blood money. Well, yeah, he's been a bit of a naughty boy, isn't he, really? Apparently, Infosys has been now shutting their offices in Russia. I have my doubts. How do you know anyway? How do you find out? They'll hide it somehow. They'll cloak it. Now, Sunak's is on holiday at the moment, isn't he? Yeah. In the US, it's probably a holiday come negotiation for something off the NHS, probably. That's what he does. Howdy doody. Let's do it. Right. So, I've got a little quiz for you first, though. Before we start, all right, I'll give the answer later on, but I would like to see some answers in the chat, if you'd be most kind. Okay. So, it's only one question. Who's the latest foreign criminal that's being deported? Oh, so that's the question. Who's the latest foreign criminal being deported? Okay, anyway. First of all, I want to talk about food, because obviously it is a major issue of everything that's going on in Ukraine. And, well, obviously Russia as well. Because it's not just Ukraine, it's the breadbasket of Russia as well. But it appears that Russia still is a breadbasket. Now, Russia and Ukraine, they account for around 30-odd% of the world wheat exports to the world. Mm-hmm. And some quite significant. Maybe I think I ought to be vegetarian because, even though I'm not, I can't imagine being vegetarian. I used to be vegetarian. I was vegetarian for 5 years. And I smelt the bacon sarnie. Bacon. Ah, yes. Oh, anyway. Sorry, went to another place. And anyway, Russia and Ukraine, it does account for 30% of the world wheat exports. Now, much of that grain, 30% of it, a significant share of that grain goes into livestock. Feed, like maize and what have you, and wheat products. Even dog food, as a high proportion of that is some sort of grain derivative. Now, there is a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel at the moment because you might be already aware that Ukraine, about 2 or 3 weeks ago, they passed a law that basically any exports from Ukraine had to be licensed. You couldn't. They did just buy so many thousand tons of wheat or whatever, and it was delivered on your doorstep in an Amazon box. Maybe not, but so it had to be licensed. So it had to be approved basically to be exported, and that's a way of actually for Ukraine what they're doing is trying to secure their own food security in Ukraine. But it looks like maybe the talk is at the moment it could be another 2 or 3 weeks. They could actually ease that. So there'll be more exports of grain from Ukraine because yes, they're still farming, and most of the farming's in the west of Ukraine. It's not the heavy industrialised areas on the Russian border. Yeah, the bit that nasty person wants, a Putain. Yeah, no, it's not the Donbas regions or anything like that. Most of it's in the west. And they've still been farming the best that they can. Their biggest problem is exporting. It's actually transporting that grain because the sea routes have been pretty much blocked by Vladimir Putin's navy and the Black Sea and the Sea of Azov. Sounds like some alien thing, but yes. So they can't do. Ukraine's struggling to get it out via the sea, so they have to use trains. So a lot of that grain has been transported on trains, but they can't transport as much. So that creates massive, problems for Ukraine as well, because they want to sell the stuff. Well, maybe not so much now. They want to move around the country, but they are talking about they're going to be exporting more grain. Now, what was my figures here? Got some figures here. Oh, so sowing is actually in Ukraine is even though they want to increase their sowing in the west of Ukraine, what they call the safe areas. Sowing is going to be down. Is estimated is going to be down around 30 to 50% in Ukraine. Well, that's obviously could cause a massive problem. But believe it or not, Russia's started to actually. They're actually subsidising. That shortfall, Russia seems to be filling that breadbasket because their grain exports are up. Now, this time last year, February last year, they exported around 1.1 million tonnes of grain from Russia. But this February, they managed to export 1.7 million tonnes of grain. So that kind of makes up for a little bit. They were down in February. This is March figures. I'm talking about March, not February. They were down in February, but in March it picked up. And that's 1.7 million tonnes. Some of that might be substituted from what they lost in February, but also certain markets are where they were buying from Ukraine and they're buying from Russia. I don't suppose Russia's, exports are that sort of problem. Apart from Russia container firms, they're going bust. It's not very helpful. I can hear my dog outside barking at the door, and Caroline obviously got here because she's partially deaf. And Russia exports to Turkey, Egypt. I did write a list there. Iran and Libya, and new markets such as Israel and what have you, because Israel was importing from Ukraine, but now it's moved a bit over to Russia instead, because obviously they still want their food. That's understandable, I suppose. People want to be, they want to eat, don't they? I like to eat too. Talk about eating. What have I got in my pocket? I was a broken dog biscuit. I don't want to eat that. I'll tell you, if things get that bad, and you can still get Fido, try it. It's not bad, Like little meaty crackers, that is. Fido. It's my party trick. But some of the dog food tastes gritty. Yeah. I got a bit. Yes, with a bit of ferret. My principle is that if it's not good enough for me, it's not good enough for my dogs. And Fido, well, quite frank, I quite enjoy it. It's like you almost kind of want to have it with milk, really. It's like a meaty breakfast cereal. Whereas Brekkies is really gritty. There's something not quite right with Brekkies. Yeah, don't recommend Brekkies, but Fido, if you get desperate, it's not too bad at all, but probably give you the runs. So, I don't know how much fibre in it. It's probably too much protein. You think I'm kidding, don't you? Right, okay. So, yeah, they get new markets from Israel as well for Russia. But, now, I've been talking to my missus about this. It's like, for instance, if we are to export from if the Ukraine, I was a bit sidetracked here. Come on, mate. My mind's gone all over the place. Don't help. I've got these things in my ears. I feel like I'm underwater. I'll drill a hole in them later. I'm getting the air pressure. So, what happens after the war and the fact, that the Ukrainians can start returning home? Some of them start to already because they can't. Some are returning because they can't get visas from the UK. That's another thing. But when they actually start returning back to the Ukraine, just like that, and to load that. How are they actually going to farm these fields? I know a lot of it's mechanised and what have you regarding wheat and what have you. Pretty much got these big old combines and tractors and what have you. There's very little handwork involved with wheat and grain products. It's all machines. But still, a lot of these people, they're one-parent families now. You've still got to look after your children. So who's going to be, who's going to be farming the fields? It's not great. Not great at all. So, now the European Union, the European Commission is, they're saying that there's a problem regarding grain, what have you, in the UK, in Europe. So what they're doing is they've changed the rules. I don't particularly like this rule, to be honest. I don't think they should change it. I think they should stick to it. Basically, every farmer in Europe is supposed to set a certain amount of land to one side. So you got so it can naturally, but like rotation farming, so it can naturally get nutrients back in. But that obligation has been, so let's say temporarily stopped. So there's not going to be any fallow land. Farmers are already saying now. I've been reading some French articles, and quite hard to translate some of them. But there's no good using Google Translate for that. I'll tell you, it doesn't work. And they're saying that's what they're going to be doing. Land that they've been sitting to one side, fallow, which normally would have left another year maybe, they're going to be farming it. I was thinking what France has got, for instance, is land, plenty of it. So they can, well, it's not great, is it? My worry is that it's going to end up not returning to that rule, not returning. Now, Jean-Francois Lemasse said, he's the president of the FDS, it's like the agricultural people. He said that we have to work normally again so that the French do not pay €4 for a baguette. Is that all they're worried about? I don't know. Now, the situation is not just for Europe. No, it's it's pretty dire for everywhere. Really, it's not great, is it? And I know that in the UK you're going to get these numpties, aren't you? What they're going to say? They're going to say, "Oh, I know. I'm going to, why don't we just import it from Australia? Now we've got our deal." Really? It's not that simple, because they're struggling too. And oh, come on, I did have this up here a minute ago. So if I put that up there you go. Russian-Ukraine conflict could add pressure to Australia's skyrocketing farm costs. Now, this is in Australia, so they've got the same problems that we have. And when you consider how they farm, their mega farms, what have you, they require huge quantities of grain. I know what we could do. We could just all eat sausages. Pigs, for instance. Means we can't butcher the things and export it. Maybe we just get together and butcher a few pigs and... juicy, wouldn't you say? Well, anyway, what you've been saying. Oh, where are we? Oh, Lucy, let's show that. A Tory MP... Oh, God, where you gone? It jumped right up the top here. Loads of chats, lots of chats. Fertilizer is getting extremely expensive. Yes, it is. Conservator, though, it means you are in the Netherlands. You're in, because you're a EU member state. It might ease a little bit because they're actually going to be reopening 2 fertilizer plants in Europe. So there's about £500 million in funds that has been approved by the European Commission to help assist the farmers, but also fertiliser. So there's a couple of mothballed fertiliser plants in Europe. I can't remember where they were now, but they're saying that the fertiliser is going to come drastically down in price. They're going to, well, won't have to import so much anyway. It's not It's not going to help the UK though, because these imports aren't enough to cover all the fertiliser. I think it's about 40%. They're saying it's at full capacity. If they got both plants up and running, they can do 40% of their requirement for the EU, which obviously is not going to cover anything. There's not going to be any excess for the UK, I wouldn't have thought, unless they have some sort of deal, I suppose. I don't know, but. Glasgow says, invest in MREs. What are they? Okay. Some dog phone has bone shard in it. Bones can die. Humans cannot. What's wrong with a good old bone occasionally? And you heard of bacon hock? Your peas? Whatever, you know. So I can't digest. Okay, that might be why it's a bit sharp on the way out. A Welsh Corgi. He's got a Welsh Corgi. This is obviously talking about dog food. Desperate times, eh? What about lard? Our biggest brands of oil use little sunflower oils. Oh, who's that? Rosa Malone. Oh, cheers, buddy. Oh. Oh, thank you. Is that Royson Malone? Or is that Royson? I don't know. MRE. Meal ready to eat. Oh, army rations. Okay, Mo Green. Cheers for that. So we've got to invest in army rations. I've actually got some. A friend of mine whose son's in the SAS. He gave me all these when I was going to go. Crikey. When I was going to Ginger Island with Graham Hughes. They tried to give me all these rations because I've got to be on this IDC with Graham Hughes. And it was weird. It was like apple crumble and stuff like that. All in this little... oh, wow. Oh, cheers, Glasgow. It was, all in these kind of like sachets and like a... I can't imagine it being that good. No, it's like boiled in the bag, isn't it, you know? Meals ready to eat. Oh, how's my favourite immigrant doing? I'm doing well, buddy. Like bully beef. What about corned beef? Ooh. Meals ready to eat, military field supplies. Crikey. Until I wasn't in the forces, can't you then? Because I didn't know. When I eat meat, I know an animal died to feed me. So I demand it was treated with respect and is only... Well, Benji mentioned that, Joa. This is why we don't want to be importing meat from Australia. Because they're not treated with respect. No, they're barely a number.
These are not farms. Those places barely exist anymore. Most animals used for food are raised
in Australia.
Massive industrial facilities like these, holding thousands upon thousands of animals. They produce so much feces and urine that the waste is dumped into gigantic open pits like this one. The stench of these places can be smelled for miles around. These facilities also use massive amounts of resources, such as millions of pounds of government-subsidized grain and millions of gallons of water that is needed to grow that grain. And the animals who would normally graze on pasture find themselves standing on dirt lots, hour after hour, day after day, month after month.
So there you go. I wouldn't want to eat that stuff either. Permy Bird says, I raise ducks and eat the extra males. Ooh. Well, that's what we were doing. Because when we had ducks and what have you, I was absolutely terrible because I find it really difficult to kill these things and it's just horrible. So I stopped. I said, I'm not doing this anymore. And well, actually, to be fair, the actual decision was made for us because they all got killed by pine marten and foxes and stuff in the end. We had one that looked like Elvis. That was Muscovy duck. Yeah, the big quill and beautiful animals. But they never put themselves to bed, the ducks. The chickens are fine, they put themselves to bed, but no, not the ducks. They'd come to our... when we had the decking at the back of the house, they'd come to that, poop everywhere, so you run out of the door where you catch the duck to put it away, and you... arse over backwards, there you go. Duck poo is very slippery. Did he describe a little bit? Cheers there, Glasgow and Rosen. Very kind of you too. So, I was speaking to Glasgow earlier because I thought I might have upset Graham Hughes, you see. And I thought maybe he blocked me, but he's got rid of his server. So that's all it was. Glasgow informed me. Thank you, Glasgow. Seaweed plant, yes, very good fertilizer that is. If that's what you're talking about, or you're talking about eating the stuff like samphire. Samphire, that's a form of seaweed, isn't it? Very salty. It's actually quite nice. I quite like it. You can buy that in France as well. Yeah, conservatives are saying here farm costs are going up everywhere. Fuel, fertilizer, grains, everything that gets more expensive. So you're talking, it's the grain to feed the animals. They eat a lot. Believe me, they eat a hell of a lot. If you're talking about the cows, and could you imagine on like that video I just showed you from Australia with the overhead footage? That was done with a drone I used to have actually. It wasn't my drone, but I had the same one as that. It was a Phantom Pro 4. And I digress. So obviously he was trespassing, wasn't he, when he's doing that? But I don't know if you've seen a video I've shown before, a clip I've shown before of how they deal with sheep dipping in Australia and in New Zealand as well. It's obviously only on the bigger farms, I imagine. For the start, the equipment's expensive. Where they put the sheep into like a big vat and they're just standing all there in the sheep dip. And this thing that looks like a farm gate, like a metal farm gate, comes down and squashes the sheep down. So they go under the fluid, which means they're going to ingest that fluid because it's not just walking through it and getting a broom and mopping their heads. But they're going to be ingesting this toxin, which is it's pesticide. That's what sheep dip is basically. And they hold them down there. It must have been 10 seconds. That's a long time when you're like gurgling underwater with pesticide going through your system. I don't think that's particularly kind. No. How would they like it? And they were talking in the way. If you've seen the video, the clip that I've used before, they're talking in a way. The farmers were. So it's this great invention and it saved loads of time. Of course it does, but it's just horrible. It's just it's just cruel, absolutely cruel. And farming can be cruel. Well, it is cruel because especially when you're taking the young away from the milking cows. Yeah. You're taking the little calves away. That's horrible. It's like having your baby taken away from you. Exactly that, isn't it? Your little baby calf. So when I eat meat, I know the animal died to feed me. I demand. Yes, I've did that already. That's true. And I get your ethos there, and I agree. It's nice if we can have some kind of relationship. And that way we can come to terms with ourselves if we understand what's going on, the process they've gone through over the course of their life, no matter how short it might be. Still horrible though. I might go vegetarian. I can't see me doing vegan though. No. Bayerberg says, I've got tons of ramen noodles. If I won't be able to eat noodles a week, you better get stock up. Oh no, panic buy. Oh no, I'm promoting panic buy. No, I'll come clean with you. We don't panic buy because we've been stocking up over a very long period of time, and it's kind of how we live here. And like a lot of our French locals here, that's how they live. They'll do a bit of garden, they've got their plots and they do this. I say bit of garden, do more than I do. Loads of potatoes, and they look at ways of preserving this stuff. But we get your glut, everything comes all at once, so they want to be able to preserve, hold that food back like a hamster for future months, taking over the winter period. And the problem is, if they don't have what they need to be able to preserve that stuff, let's say for instance you're doing conserves like jams and stuff, you need sugar. And look what's going on in Ukraine or Russia side, they're fighting over sugar. Literally fighting over sugar. So there they are fighting over sugar because they know, just like we do, because a lot of them live in the same. A lot of the locals here live. People in Russia who live rurally in Russia, they farm land to survive. You know, what was it? The average wage was in Russia was about 300 or 400, the equivalent of 300 or 400 euros a month. It's the average wage in Russia. And their cost of living is going through the roof. But they're living off the land because they have to. In some cases, sometimes they do it because they want to, maybe. It's just a way of life. We just do it because we enjoy it. And it does obviously save money. And yes, we do have a lot of food in our cupboards. A lot. About 200 jars. Parfait jars of chilies and bolognese mixes and just tomato sauces and passata and skinned tomatoes. You know, like your tin tomatoes, but those are in jars. They're quite beautiful as well. Some are yellow, some are like dark reds, and they're rather pretty. But that's not why we do it. We eat them. That's what you're meant to do. And they'll keep like that for 3 years at least. Especially acidic foods like tomatoes, they'll keep. The only thing I would say is if you think about storing anything like pumpkins, don't bother. You can't. You'll have more luck with a pressure. Because basically what we do is, let's say for instance we're going to preserve our tomatoes. We get our jar, our parfait jar, the parfait. We pre-skinned the tomatoes, so a bit of boiling water, the skins go wrinkly like me, and then you peel them all off, and then you plonk them all in your jar with a bit of brine, so salty water basically. That's the other thing that's going to be hard to get in Russia. Not here so much. And so you got your brine, and any herbs you'll put. You can put basil and stuff in there if you want. You add a bit of flavour, coriander even with tomatoes, also nice. You plonk your lid down, do the lever. You've sterilised obviously the rubbers and obviously the jar's sterile, which isn't a huge problem because you've got to boil the hell out of it. And then it goes into a water container, which is basically it's a boiler we've got. It's actually we've got a special thing for it, and we put our jars in, stack them in there, make sure they're all separate, what have you, and we put them in there for 90 minutes. So it sterilises the jars, everything boils up really hot, you pretty much cooked the food, and as it cools down, it sucks the lid down on top of the jar. That's pretty much it. You take it out and try not to burn your fingers, so you've got these funny like tong things, you get them out of put them to one side and let them cool down, and then you got your, you've got your lovely jar of food. Could be about a litre of tomatoes or passata or sauce or whatever you're doing. Like I say, the acidic foods will last for at least 3 years. And then you stack them all up and you admire your food. And then you go down the shop and buy something because you forgot what you got in the cupboard. That's pretty much what happens in this house, I'll tell you. I'll shop and bill the stores too blooming hard. We've got all this flipping food. I don't understand what's going on. Sometimes it's just laziness or you fancy something and that's just silly. So, cool. But that's what we do. And that's what a lot of locals here do. And that's the same in places like Russia as well. Yeah, rural areas. Not everyone's living in cities, are they? After all. So, Joe, hey, David Gerardo. Yes, seen that on Twitter and there's some going on there. Okay, what's David Gerardo said? David! What were you saying, David? Hi, Glasgow. Where's Graham? A couple of days ago, oh no. I think David's got a thing for Graham. He was saying this the other day that he was missing Graham. Oh, Glasgow says, I'm a vegetarian. The animals, they only eat grass. Unless you're a pig. Unless it's a piggy, so they eat anything. Like snatch. Yeah. Shiny warm, being a veggie used to be tricky in the olden days, and now it's easy. That's true. And my dear wife is just panic bought some soya mince. What'd she get? 5. She was going to get a sack, but she couldn't get that. She ended up getting 5 or 6 bags. Lasts ages because only her eat. I'll eat it as well. To be fair, the soya mince, I don't mind. It's all right as long as you cook it long enough. So Timothy Simpkins says, "Don't fancy eating Australian meat. I don't blame you, mate. The UK is going to be relaxing on the hormones as well, so that's a massive problem as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, I know a lot of people probably disagree, but what is semolina? Don't you mean salmonella? Salmonella poisoning. No, there's no worry of salmonella poisoning. I have not had a problem yet. The trick is, if you talk about the jars, think, oh my god, you know, panic, you might get some, or there might be a little bit of mould around the edge or something. If that jar doesn't pop open, hasn't built gases up inside the jar, so it's pretty much has been sealed. And then if you do see any, that's on the outside, so it's not usually a problem. But we ain't had any problems. No. I haven't had the... No, but of course I haven't. Oh, that's squidgy. Right, okay. What's wrong with lamb or venison? Mostly environmentally sustainable meat. Well, venison, I suppose if it's hunted. I ain't got a problem. There's a lot of hunting going on here. They were doing it on the weekend here as well. I hate the sound of it. Hear the horns going, the dogs going in the distance. And me and Carol, we panicked. We're thinking, oh god, dogs are going to get out, and they're going to get, it's going to be a big problem, or even killed. No, nothing like that has ever happened, but it just makes you anxious. I just hate it, to be honest. But it is as long as it's not the likes of Jacob Rees-Mogg and what have you, going around and sitting on some horse and chasing down foxes. I don't suppose it's quite so bad. He really ought to go out there in his paddle boat, don't he, and start chasing down the...
Now, British fish, and they're better and happier fish.
That's what they should do. That's what he should do anyway. That's what I reckon. Scroll down the bottom before I get told off going too far up. There's one thing, and one thing only stopping me buying veggie. Yeah, well, that's why I reverted back to being a meat eater. I don't eat a lot of meat, to be fair. I do like bacon salami. A BLT, I do like a BLT. Other than that, I wouldn't be that bothered. I'm not that bothered in chicken, about chicken or anything like that. And I'm not bothered at all about beef. I'm not a big beef eater. Or pork even, to be honest. And actually, to be fair, it doesn't agree with me. Meat doesn't agree with me anyway, so I shouldn't really be eating it. I know the following day. Oh yes, I did it again. Sorry. Anyway, I'll get back into our little WhatsApp. And I'll say my little WhatsApp. Woohoo! Like I say, I've just bullet pointed things this time, so I hope it's okay, because I was a bit worried that it's not going to be very fluid, but hey-oh. Heyo. Anyway, did anyone answer my quiz earlier? Did we get any quiz answers? I'm scrolling up. I'm just double check on that first before I carry on. Oh, can you remember the quiz? I was asking who was the latest foreign criminal that's being deported. Did that get answered? I'm scrolling up. Anything I Mediterranean diet, gel Putin from no. Oh, yes, it was answered. Who was first? Yes, Tommy Robinson. I thought that was rather funny. Okay. Yeah, my solar panels are fine. Scrolled right at the top here. I have now gone deaf. Who's gone deaf? No sound. Now you've gone deaf. Okay, no, that's up there. Yeah, that was Tommy Robinson. Was the answer to my little quiz question. Yes, he was visiting with his family to Mexico. Probably because he's got a criminal record now, I imagine. And they said, no, you're not coming in, and sent him on his merry way. So technically, I suppose it didn't really deportation, just basically told him to bugger off. So yeah, anyway, scroll back down here. Oh, just what? You can't. What can't you beat? I shouldn't be allowed that, but hey, okay, Jasper, very funny, ha ha ha, but I can't say it. Oh dear. Mellow, too much Botox in Putains. Yeah, he does look a bit crazy, doesn't he? He's got something going on with him. He looks a bit kind of swollen and suffering. He obviously feels he's too wrinkly. I wonder if we'll be seeing a picture of a Botoxed Putin on a horse with no shirt on. I wonder if David likes that. Do you, David Girago? No? Okay. Show that. Yeah, he is, he's a nutter. Something not quite right there. Now, I was, oh, crikey. He had everything handed to him on a plate, did Putin, didn't he? You know, when Trump... Well, when Putin kind of pushed Trump into, you know, being the president, the 45th president of the United States. Still can't believe that. Especially with his little white eyes, around his eyes, where you put his little goggles on when he's having a spray tan. But, you know. He's a very bright man, is Putin, isn't he? Oh, no, I'm Trumpy, baby, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And tremendously wet.
But then again, he must be quite clever because he was tested, wasn't he?
Like you'll go person, woman, man, camera, TV.
And he got extra points. So, yeah, I was watching anyway. When his face, when they were both up the podium together, and Trump was asked by a reporter, can't remember the exact question now. Basically, do you blame Russia and what have you for the attack on, you know, digital attacks, what have you, the hacking in the United States? And Trump spurted a load of baloney about that he believes Putin, because Putin strongly assured him that it wasn't Russia. So he believes Putin because Putin strongly said it wasn't Russia. And apparently, well, we know it was, but and Putin's face, he was literally glowing. He needed no Botox. Well, the pheromones, everything was all coming to the surface. He was happy as a sandpiper, was Putin, after old Trump said that. That was a shocking moment, I think, personally, but that was horrendous. So, we're not going to be able to rely on other countries in the UK not going to be able to rely on other countries for importation, really. You want to get a bit here and a bit over there and a bit over there. Not at the moment. Not while all this goes on regarding the fertilisers and what have you. Because a lot of these places are going to they've got their own problems and the costs are going through the roof. Not just for the UK and obviously for the EU as well, but also for those countries we hope to import from. Besides, we don't want food to have all these food miles on it. In fact, we don't really want all these additional fertilisers. We ought to be going back to older methods, really, where you had proper rotation, use some green fertilisers, etc. Dover, Cali, we've got all that poo all ready to ship in little bags. And we've got all that pee in bottles. You get one in each pocket. You could get the lorry drivers to have a depot where they could all bring their poo and their wee in their little bottles and poo bags. And they can bring it all to a bit like a giant dog poo bin. You know, the little yellow ones you get on the side of the road. Are they yellow or are they green? I can't remember. But that might be an answer. That might work. You know, why don't we use that? Stick that on the fields, let that biodegrade. Make sure it gets hot enough to get rid of those pathogens, though. The urine won't be a problem because it's sterile when it leaves the body. Very salty, mind. Very salty. Nitrates. So, and obviously Brexit for the UK. I know I wasn't going to go too much on Brexit this time, but Brexit is definitely compounding the issue for the UK, isn't it? It's just the EU doesn't have this problem, do it? It doesn't have this extra noose around the neck of Brexit. And I know Brexit's been pretty much cloaked at the moment because of the pandemic and now the war in Ukraine. But the fact of the matter is, it's still a thing, it's still a problem. And come the 1st of July this year, phytosanitary checks are supposed to be applied to foodstuffs, you know, such as meat, grain, anything that has, you know, mud on your tyres and shoes. Take your shoes off. Have special washers to push them through. Oh, okay. It will come with a culture. And you're going to have to allow for that if the UK doesn't postpone it, because Boris Johnson is being pressurised at the moment from various organisations to kick that can down the road yet again. Well, that's going to cause all sorts of problems, obviously, regarding the relationship with the EU because of the FDA, but also with the WTO as well. We'll basically be in breach of it. So, yeah, it's a bit, quite frankly, it's a bit of a clusterfuck. Oh, where's that one? Oh, dear. So, I suppose at the end of the day, if we weren't able to, import the foodstuffs, we could always eat it, I suppose. No?
Did you know eating someone else's poop? Did you know eating someone else's poop can actually be good for your health?
Well, I don't know what happened to the sound to that. I do not know. But yeah, there was sound originally. But did you know you could eat your own poo? It's actually healthy for you. There's actually a treatment they give for people who've got low. You have to eat it though. I don't think you have to eat it. Well, you get tablets. You get poo tablets because you've got certain bacteria that are good for your stomach, and some people they haven't got them, or you haven't got. I suppose one bacteria we talk about a lot is like acidophilus. Like probiotics and what have you. But some people are very low on them. They don't. Maybe they've got too much acid in there and they just kill it off. I don't know. I'm guessing. Obviously, I'm guessing. Winging it. Oh yeah. So, would you eat poo? Who says? So, Boris say no cake from Putin. Oh. Just when he kicks a can down the road, he's practicing kicking soap for the prison shirt. Yeah, I hope so. But as well as I do, they're all going to get away with all this. It's just they're going to get away with it. He's going to get away with Partygate and all that. Even if he has got his, he'll be forgiven because they love him. You see, poop. Joe Hager, poop. Yes, there's a lot of poop everywhere. You're not wrong, Joe. No, especially now down at Dover. Oh my giddy aunt, that does not look very good, does it? No. In fact, it's starting to look pretty dire down there. It's got worse. It obviously had the they put the system in. I can't remember what it's called now. What do they call it? Where they put the system or initiate the system where you have single file traffic for all the lorries and all the cars can go in little vans can go whiz them past. Well, pretty much everyone is stuck at the moment at Dover, and a lot of it's obviously down to P&O, but also other issues as well. Oh, what's going on here? Got lots of. Do I want to show this? Ooh. Eating poop sounds like an April Fool joke, unless you're French. No, it's a real thing. There's people out there eating poo. I was watching. I forgot. I should have recorded it. I should give you the clip. Yes, but there's definitely poo being eaten by people. Takes all sorts, I suppose. Licorice all sorts. Pigs are brighter than dogs. No. No one's brighter than my dogs. How dare you say such a thing? Pigs are brighter than dogs. I'd no more eat a pork than I would a German Shepherd. Oh, I wouldn't eat either. Well, I do eat pork. Well, not much, but I do eat pork. Put it like this, if it's put in front of me, I'll eat it. But I don't go out there and think, oh, I fancy a sausage. No. And I don't go out there and I do not go and get myself a little piglet and put it in that box. No. And crack the handle and the sausage comes out. No. No. Don't do that either. Yep, you're right there, Johnny. You're absolutely right. What they do is they divert responsibility to industry. Where's it jumped off to? It's jumped. I was going to read it. What Johnny said was... Yeah, the UK government expects the companies to handle all the actual governance by themselves. Lazy buggers, he says. And he's 100% right. They've done that all the way along. So, well, and also with the pandemic, with the people, use your common sense. The problem is, common sense is no longer common. No, not in the UK, definitely not, no. And then again, I can't, even around here, I've been bumping into food people recently, and I keep hearing shocking things I do from some of the French here. Now, I am in rural France, in the Limousin, and God, and they are quite a few of them. Well, it's a Marine Le Pen area. Yeah, say no more. Even with gravy. Oh, having a pig's about. Oh, no, I don't like the idea of eating dogs. I don't eat dogs. No, I don't even think about it. I mean, think of horrible places like China and places like that. The UK Gov expects the companies to handle all the governments themselves. That's exactly right. I've already said that. Philip. Beekeeping, Simon says, 55. I would love to learn beekeeping, but it's my only allergy. I was talking to Mrs. about this. She reminded me, actually, we were talking about doing bees, because we'd like to do bees. And especially in the top corner of the field, we've got a lot of flowering trees and stuff in there. And she reminded me, my son's allergic, so it wouldn't be a good idea. Come and visit, and then you'd blow up. They're again saying that. It's not anywhere near the house. I don't really see the issue. I'm not going to expect them to go and then, deal with the bees. So, no, I wouldn't do that to him. That wouldn't be very nice, would it? Lucy Willis says, I would eat poo. I would eat poo. I'd eat poo, but I'd piss on the Bigly Orange Panda if you paid me. Well, he does like his golden showers, don't he? You know, that he does.
And tremendously wet.
Sorry. Yes, Dover is the world's largest producer of poo and wee. And air pollution. Can you imagine that? All those lorries. Can you imagine what it's like just to work around there at the moment? The fumes and the particulates. There was like that poor little girl who died in the mother. She actually took them to court. She got really severe asthma. Lovely little girl, and she got severe asthma, and she ended up dying. And they put it down to the particulates, the diesel fumes in London, because obviously the levels are too high, above EU levels. And she won her case, which is a landmark case. You know what I mean? So it's, potentially there's going to be more cases like that, obviously. And hopefully that push, it's going to be difficult in London, mind. It's hopefully it push London into working hard to try to improve it. But the taxi drivers won't like it, no, because they don't like people on push bikes. And the drivers don't like the cycle lanes, no. So anyway, pretty much the UK's got all these obstacles: phytosanitary workers, visas, chemical imports, well, obviously that's a major problem, like fertilizer, etc. And then we've got the future UK CEA, the UK conformity assessed. They have to be different, don't they? Why could you have a CE mark? Oh, that's EU, isn't it? Oh, I forgot. Anyway, so that's going to cause problems when that finally comes into play. How are we going to be getting all the equipment that we need? Because they're not going to be doing testing. No, not. I don't know, you'll buy a tractor, I don't know, a Fendt or something like that. One that's not built in the UK. It's got to comply, isn't it? All about parts, all that sort of stuff. Major issues. So the butchers, bakers, and the candlestick makers are all the problem, especially the butchers. Yeah, that didn't help either, since we, allowed the lack of thinking to put that cross in the wrong box, because that's what they did. Shutting off all the workers from the EU, and now they don't even want workers from Ukraine either. So it's just they just don't want people. No, they only want people from the UK. Indigenous people. They want people who, the local workforce will pick up the slack. That's what we hear, but it's not the case, because it can't happen. No, we don't have enough people because we're not making them anymore. And by 2045, so those scientists told me. Well, they did an article that I read. It said by 2045, we're all going to be infertile anyway. Oh, I don't know what. I probably will be anyway. But yeah, it's just it could be like, I don't know, children of men. Is that children of men? It'll be the other way around. It'll be children of women. Well, no, will be children of women. It'll be children of nothing. It'll be no. Well, save the planet, I must say. Best hope we've got. So inflation, it is at 6.2%. So they tell us it's actually a lot more. But let's go with what the official figures are. Now, it's the highest since 1992. Oh, who got into power then, I wonder? Oh, okay. And France, well, its inflation is far lower, but it is also galloping. I can show you that, actually. Let me show you that. Let's go into my galloping inflation. Let's gallop away, gallop away. That's that one there. Oh, there we go. There it is. Let me just drag this over so you can see it. Oh, that's the wrong one. I don't know what I was doing there, but so this is France's inflation. I could have shrunk that down for you, but never mind. I can drag it over instead, make it bigger. Right, 2021, as you can see, inflation was down to ridiculously low. There's no growth, which isn't good either, obviously. Around the 2%, I suppose, is okay. But now look, that's about 4.5%, I think it is. Let's have a look. 4.5% now. Now, wasn't that long ago, I was saying it was around. Oh, doing it again, messing everything up. Look, there you go. I was saying that it was about 3.8. I remember. Well, it'd been down here, wouldn't it? It wasn't that long ago either. So that's not great at all. So France's inflation is going through the roof. It's going to obviously affect everywhere. Everywhere is going to go up. But we still are not going to be anywhere near the UK. If we're at 4.5% and they're at 6.2, according to the way they work out, which is worked out on the wrong year, a bit like their 2019. Which should be their comparison, but they keep doing 2021 for some reason. I wonder why that is. I wonder. Blame COVID, blame the pandemic for everything. Obviously, it's a major problem. Obviously, you can't get away from it. But it's not the only problem, not for the UK especially. So France, it's got galloping inflation. Well, it had galloping inflation. The last time it was at was in the 1970s for France. Now, it's currently at 4.5%, as I showed you. And loans, oh my giddy aunt. This year, the amount of money that we're borrowing on credit cards is phenomenal. It's just gone up. It's gone crazy, absolutely crazy. Now, card debt is at a record high. 1.5 billion. This is the highest level since 1990, since they started, doing the records. Since they started the records in 1993, this is the highest ever, and not by a little bit, by a lot. And it's it's like 4 times more than it's ever been before. And it's 1.5 billion was borrowed in February, in 1 month, just in February. 1.5 by people. That's a lot of money. But when you borrow money, you got to pay it back or go bankrupt. That's what happened last time we had, recession in 2008, 2009. So the UK is using the war. It is. But also, you've got the UK using the war, and this government's using the war as a way of trying to dilute the political damage from Brexit, what have you, and other bad decisions that they've made in the pandemic. And they've made plenty, as you know. And but then we've got the US. Biden it's going to be a bit inflammatory recently, things he's been saying, but also he's using it as a way to as a stick to beat Russia with. That's what I think. Like, for instance, he's now so by the end of this year, quite a lot of gas anyway is going to be coming from, obviously, by ship. I don't think they've got a pipeline that long from the US. So there's going to be loads of the gas coming in from the US to the EU. So the deal was struck about just over a week ago. And so for Biden, he said, yes, that's another one, isn't it? It's another poke in the eye for Vladimir Putin. Oh, who's that Glasgow? Oh, cheers, buddy. Oh, wow. Oh, you're most kind. Oh, he didn't say anything. He said anything. He said, oh, he did say, I know that you have been a bit down with the YouTube channel. Please keep it out. Oh, cheers, buddy. And the streams are great. Hope things pick up for you, mate. And you're a genuine... Hey! Oh, but you're a nice bloke. Thank you. And keep your chin up. Yeah, I have been a bit down. You're right. Who told you? I probably did. Yeah, I've been kind of... with the channel, that has been, as you're probably aware, it's been hit hard with the algorithm. And I think there's a self-perpetuating problem because because you lose your mojo. You know your mojo. It's not a turtle head poking out, but yeah, you lose your mojo a little bit, and you kind of then you start going slipping down the slope, and you put less effort into it. You know, because you feel down about it, and you sort of pick yourself up again. At the moment, I kind of accepted now, so I'm just going to plod along, keeping at least one, maybe two videos a day, and just try and hopefully think. Well, if I see things picking up, I'll start then putting a lot more time and effort into it again. But I have to. My problem is I have to earn money from somewhere, and if the views are down, I don't get hardly any funds coming in. And it was only just keeping our head above water, so it was very, very difficult. What has helped actually, and cheers for that, Glasgow, and everybody else's super chat, that actually has made a massive difference. Just kind of compensated for the lack of views. Because my videos were doing around, in the first hour, on average, between 800 and 1,000 views in the first hour of the video going live. And if you don't do that, the video's dead. You know, if it falls flat on its face. So that was growing, and I was getting lots of subscribers. The video put up this morning, I lost 4 subscribers on one video. It shows you in this analytics where you lose your subscribers. I lost that one video. Why the hell did I put that up? But hey, say to me, these things are sent to try us. I feel very low at the moment. I don't know why. Oh, my fire's gone out. Oh dear. Paraffin. Oh no. I'll have to get that pipe from Russia. I ain't got a pipe from Russia. Bugger. Okay, let's have a bit more stout. Now, what was it? It's poverty. And then we had bloomin' Grant Shapps. Oh, crikey. If it is his real name, who knows, for God's sake. He's been going on about... He's asked questions about poverty in the UK because 4.3 million children are living in poverty. And that's a 200,000 increase. It's not great, is it? And what's the Grant Shapps' answer to that? He says, living in relative and absolute and relative poverty. I thought, crikey, really? So what's he mean by that? I thought, I hadn't heard that term before, so I looked it up. Oh God, I'm going to have to shrink this down. This is silly. Where is it? Not that one. Not that one. That one? Not that one. That one. Let me shrink this down. For some reason, it's too big. There I am! Oh, think of that. I hid. Let's hide. Okay, absolute poverty is a condition where household income is below a necessary level to maintain basic living standards. Food, shelter, housing. This condition makes it possible to compare between different countries and also over time. Now, relative poverty is a condition where household income is a certain percentage below the median incomes. For example, the threshold for relative poverty could be set at 50% of median incomes or 60%. I still don't quite understand what that means, do you? Maybe someone can tell me. Explain it to me. A condition where household incomes is sufficient to afford basic necessities. Oh, so absolute poverty is like you only just making ends meet. Just, you're on the breadline. In relative poverty, when households receive 50% less income than average. Oh, I see. Now I get it. So basically, you're just not... Yeah. You're either poor or you're really poor. I think that's what it means. So, I'm sorry, but if you've got no, you're on the board, maybe you've got a deficit, but maybe one that's kind of you're just fluttering like that all constantly. You've got no buffer, and if you've got no buffer, you can quite easily get into relative poverty. Let's say, for instance, you've lost a job, you own your house, but your roof is leaking, and you can't afford. You need to get the builder in or a roofer in to fix that hole in your roof, and you can't afford to do it. So you're sitting in the house with water pouring in, causing more damage to the house, which you'll have to pay for at some point. Hopefully, at some point when you've got a new job and you're making more money, which is quite unlikely in this in the current climate, unless you want to be a fruit picker, of course. Which then you've got to make more money, are you? Oh damn! Think of that. Bugger. Minimum wages and all that. Or you could work for P&O and don't do it either. No. It's not a great idea. But yeah, so it's not great, is it? We should be living like that. And I put a lot of this down to 0 hours contracts as well. It's not just it's talking government proposals, isn't it? And 0 hours contracts, I thought, is a good idea if it's used correctly. And that's to be used for seasonal workers, as far as I'm concerned, or a way to, like, for instance, times of hospitality even. In the summer they need more staff than they do in the winter. Some places you shut up in the winter, so you need to have that influx of staff when you're busy. 0 hours contracts make sense for that, but companies abuse it. You probably know this already, but even with my family who've worked under 0 hours contracts, they kept them on there for so flippin' long, well over a year. Well, I'm sorry, that's not acceptable. As far as I'm concerned, shouldn't be for anybody. Oh, so there. Anyway, let's see what's saying. What you're saying. Jasper says, oh my God, don't eat shit, please. No, you get the that you will. I tell you what, that came out sideways. That one did. I'll tell you. Basically, mediums should assist in. Oh, I see. Basically, mediums should assist in getting rid of the screw made by the very rich. Well, but to be silly, we have trickle down economy, don't we? Answer that. That'll also be a no. Poverty can be when you are living a paycheck to paycheck. Yes, emergency. I get that now. I understand that now. It's when they use these terms. It'll be funny if you're on the borderline. You're either poor or you're really poor. If you can't pay your bills, no wonder we're borrowing more money. I've been there with, I should want that bit. I told you before about my credit cards and stuff, and when I was paying people's wages on my credit cards because the business was suffering because of that last recession, 2008, and I had less money coming in to the business. Well, not at the right time, with the cash flow issue. Then we had going out. Obviously, the blokes who worked for us are pretty loyal. They're great guys, and well, some of them were. Actually, some were idiots, but anyway, the good ones. We made sure everyone got paid, but to do so, I had to top the funds in the bank up with credit card money, and that credit card's up to limits. What do? You take out another one. I was supposed to pay off the balance of that one with that one, but I didn't. I didn't spend in that one to pay their wages. So all I was doing really is just sinking myself deeper and deeper and deeper into poop. No, I'm not going to do it again. Not yet. No. So it's kind of that been relative poverty really. Although I had a house, I did have a mortgage. No, of course I had a mortgage. Oh my God, I got a mortgage here. Thank God. Because we bought this house here, and it was an absolute wreck. God, do you know what? I was going to show you some pictures of that. Bugger. Oh, yeah, the house was absolute wreck. Big holes in the roof. I told you before, we had a cow in our kitchen. Literally. Cow, a Limousin cow in the kitchen. Esther Witt, Allshorts. Unpaid internships is another thing that need to go. Yes. My eldest son has plenty of work experience, but no job thanks to these. Some have been with the same company multiple times. That's slavery, isn't it? Under the pretense of education. That's just slavery. Trickle down economics just means the top are pissing on the rest. Yep, you're 100% right. It's exactly what they're doing. I haven't got a peep, one have I? Oh, so I'm going to have to do that one again. Oh. Yeah. I gave it a bit more vibrato. So yeah, it was Brian Maguire. I refuse to answer the question on the grounds that it will incriminate the UK's great leaderless. Yes, the great leaderless. No spelling mistake. No, okay. When I listen to people talking about the poor, they are not in the room. Politicians, no, they do not know. Like my son Wayne, he's okay now, but he had a period of time when he had to really manage his money, and he got in a little bit of debt and stuff like that. And he was responsible, but things didn't pan out his way, and it does now. He's in the museum service, and he's quite high up now. So he's done really well. He's worked hard at it. He really has. And the thing is that there's times he couldn't make his rent. He couldn't. He's always on the push bike. He couldn't afford the bus fares and stuff like that to get to work. And his work. God, he'd take any job. Whatever come his way through agency work, what have you. He used to work at a place called, but anyone from Norfolk here will know sound. What's wrong with sound? Sound. Oh, it's you. Chris, you worried me. Chris just said sound, ? And he said, oops, it was me. As it was him. You bugger. That could be a heart attack. If you didn't know, Chris, earlier when I first came on, I had my microphone turned off. I had it on mute. Like a fool that I am. Sorry. And then I was late because I had a technical issue. And then I get in a big fluster, and what happens is I spiral down, I do, into a clusterfuck. Yeah. So it was nuts. It was. So anyway, that one. So I just got some things come up here. It's just okay. And so that one. Got a load of windows come up. Don't want them up. No. And that one. Put that one there. Yeah, it's all been going on, isn't it? And it kind of reminds me of Boris Johnson when he said about his gaffes. He's got this brilliant new strategy where he has all these gaffes, and it's how you can, mess up the heads of all the press, so they don't know what's coming at them. To me, it's just nuts. So it's... Where was I? Bear with me. 5. Right. So, yeah, sorry, where was I? Anyway, so it's all been going on, isn't it? Now, the other thing that's been going through my head a little bit, and it's like, after... So I digressed a fair bit, haven't I? Milk and 2, please, Brian Maguire. Mello, no, I was just saying that the list Marx was saying about as an absolute poverty, etc., doesn't include people who may be sofa surfing, as there is a shortage of properties, etc. That's a really good, valid point, Chris. My kids have also done that. My son Darren, who lives here in France now, he's done that too. Sofa surfing. In fact, actually, when he was living here at one point, and then he went back to the UK to work as a nurse, and because he's a qualified nurse and what have you, and then he had nowhere to stay. He had nowhere to live. He got somewhere in the end, but it's money and references. People not, getting references isn't always that easy, is it? So as to it says, a lot of these schemes start out with good intentions, but a lack of rules just creates another legal loophole to extort workers while their businesses get big profits. Yeah. And generally they're overseas owned companies. Look at P&O Ferries, for instance, it's DP World. which is in the Arab Emirates. It's ways of actually sucking money out of the UK. Oh, Brian McGuire, I'll take a splash of whiskey. Oh, who's having whiskey? Okay, Marcus. The two Pinot ships are still under detention, and in St. Petersburg, 18 non-Russian vessels alongside 3 masked ships and one. Oh, what was it? Mask. What was it? The Norwegian firm. I can't remember now. Is it Norwegian Mask? I've talked about it before, and I can't remember now. So okay, so Pinot ships are still under detention, and in St. Petersburg, which is obviously in Russia, 18 non-Russian vessels alongside, including 3 crikey. What's going on there? So what's going on there then? That's strange. I'll take a little whiskey or whiskey, gingers, giraffes. Ooh, no. Or guarantor can be hard for. Yeah, so if you talk about the family of mum and dad, me and Cal, we wouldn't make a very good bank for the kids at the moment. But it's just there's so many, where the parents have made money on property, buying and selling or what have you, or they've had inheritance that hasn't been sucked dry by the government. These are free Danish. Can we confiscate English ships? Go on then. Let's do it. Although good intentions is debatable. Well, they don't have any good intentions. I like to give them the benefit of the doubt, because some of them seem okay-ish, but when it comes down to it, you look at the nitty-gritty, they'll still follow the party line, whatever happens, which makes them complicit. Just like those in Russia who are sucking up to Putin and then displaying the Z on the side of their houses and stuff. It's just indoctrination. It's completely and utterly brainwashed. Oh, health for review been about. I agree. Oh, psychopathic. What's it? Oh. The pine trees look like feast in Ibiza. I don't understand. What pine trees look like a feast? I'm confused. We eat pine trees. Are you in Ibiza? I thought you were in Portugal. Oh, so yeah, Danish, like bacon. And these 3 are Danish ships. Okay, that's interesting. I'd look it out with my girl there. I've seen this before, says Melo Mello. I knew how. Okay. How much are square rig ships worth? Square riggers? Well, I was on a square rigger not that long ago with Graham Hughes, that pirate ship. That's a square rigger. In fact, that pirate ship, if you saw any of the videos when I was with Graham Hughes on Ginger Island, the actual mast of that ship was from the Black Pearl. It's not wood, it's steel. So the square rigger mast on that ship, that pirate ship that me and Graham Hughes on, was actually the one that was used in the film Pirates of the Caribbean on the Black Pearl. Now the Black Pearl itself actually sunk eventually. It was used as a restaurant and it just rotted away underneath and it sunk. And the mast was sold on, and they converted this, probably some sort of trawl or whatever it was originally, into a pirate ship and used those masts. And I didn't realise they were steel, but they are. They're steel masts. Not original. No, not original masts. No, Maltese. Okay. The little people are dancing in the trees. Oh, are they? It reminds me of all the old adventure in Ibiza. Oh, I bet. Art Lou says, I'm European and I can think. Do you have some common sense? Because in the UK, common sense is no longer common. Do you know what I think? The problem with common sense is, I think common sense comes with practicality, practical skills, practicalities and stuff. Like for instance, you see a hole there, if you step into the hole, you're going to fall into it, and it's not practical to do so. A lot of woodwork, and if I touch something that's sharp, for me, it's common sense that I don't touch that sharp thing, because although I do, cause I could cut myself, make a mess. Oh, Andy thinks Brexit is a bad idea. I happen to agree with it. I don't know why. No, I've been saying it for some while that Brexit is a very, very bad idea. Anyway, let's get back into this. Anyway, mental health. Now, one Ukrainian lady, her husband and 4-year-old son, they hid in the cellar of their house in north of Kiev for about 3 weeks, as intense fighting, including a tank battle, raged around them. At first, she says, my son seems to be coping okay. As she says, but then, with unrelenting stress of the battle, shelling and blasts, she said there was a deterioration. The boy started to become withdrawn, introvert into himself, became nervous. He started to stutter. That's what she says. So the fact is, the children, can you imagine it? There's dogs and or animals in general in Ukraine, they're suffering as well. But the children, they're going to have long-term problems, PTSD, issues. This is all going to have to be dealt with. It's not going to be enough psychologists to deal with all this. I have more. This is going to go. It's going to be crazy. I know they do in the United States because from all the films I watch, it seems like everybody in the United States has a therapist. Maybe I need one. Maybe that explains it. Maybe. Oh, okay. So what about the soldiers? The Ukrainian soldiers, even the Russian soldiers. Although considering what it seems to be proved that they've been doing, I hope they do suffer a little bit. Well, a lot. Post-traumatic stress disorder. Because it appears with the withdrawal. Oh God, I wish you know what I'm going to say. Stanley Johnson did. With the withdrawal of Russia from Kiev and that area, the devastation and effectively just murder. Now this reminds me of what happened here. I'm in a little place called an Orador. There's 2 Oradors near here. One is Orador Saglen and Orador Saverne. Orador Saglen, basically after when the war pretty much come to an end, 1944, whatever it was. This was June the 10th, I think this was. Anyway, in an act of retaliation, the Nazis went in and pretty much destroyed the whole village in Orador Saglen. They were supposed to be Orador Saverne, that's where we are. But the French resistance, managed to filter the wrong information and they attacked the wrong village. And anyway, that's a long story short. So that kind of reminds me of that, because they just attacked it. They just killed everybody in the village. They just got all the women and all the children. They put them in the church, and they put intense explosives, like napalm almost, I suppose, or like an intense fire, inside the church, and just set light to it. Or I can't remember if it's explosive or they just set light to it. But anyway, either way, a big fire inside the church, and lots and lots of people. Only 2 people survived. They managed to get out the window in this church. Now, if you ever been to Orador, I'm sure if Lee's still here, he might have been, but. If you've ever been to Orador Saglen, it's the village de Martin. It's in remembrance. And in the church, there's the church bell, which obviously fell. It was just melted. So it's a bit like something. Like Salvador Dali with his melting clocks, just like that. And it's I'm not a Philistine. I might look like one. So yeah, it's just it reminds me of that. What's happening at the moment? It's like this retaliation. They're coming back, and what they're doing is what it appears. I'm not saying exactly what some people are saying it could be propaganda, but it looks like people are just being literally just murdered in the streets with their hands tied behind their backs, what have you. And they've found bodies in basements and all sorts of stuff. But that takes someone with a certain mentality. They're not right in the head. That's just so brutal. That's well, obviously there's war crimes, don't we? There's no 2 ways about it. The only thing I would say is that what I'm not happy about, it makes me feel a little bit nervous about it, is that the authorities are saying it's not safe for the journalists to go in straight away, so they're having to wait before they can go in. I'm not saying that's what's happening, but you can imagine what the war deniers would say. They'd say, "Oh no, that's been staged." You gave them time to have staged that. That's what's going to happen. What they should have done is they should have allowed the journalists to go in, but maybe if and chaperone them into those areas. And let's see what you're saying. Hey, Lee, it's a haunting place. That it is. You aren't wrong. We're talking about Orador, Sir Glenn. Look it up. And so Orador, Oradou, Sir, S-U-R, and Glen as in Glane. And I've been there about 15 times. Oh, where would you go? I would love to go and see that place you're talking about, Orador, Sir Glen. Visitors, this is. Oh, God, I can survive. What again? It's usually in the peak of the summer season, because obviously that's when your visitors all turn up. And you're sweating like you know what, and you have to walk around this place, and you've been around it, bored as hell, because you've been around it so many times. Although I have to say, that a great photo opportunities there, and when the lights are different angles, and what have you, it can be quite airy. Now, I've been around that place in the snow, which is pretty cool. That's actually when we were looking for the house. Apparently the Russians have been mining dead bodies. What? Mining? What do you mean mining? Now I'm confused. What I think you mean, is it? Oh dear. So, Greens, Sinn Féin and the SNP. It's a haunting place. So, Glasgow, do you think you're going to get your indie ref too? I think you deserve it. I really do. Oh, there. Rations, yes. Mellow. Well, some people are saying, like Grant Shapps saying, that there's not going to be any rationing. No, we're not at that stage yet. That's because you haven't run out of gas yet. But you will. Or likely to, unless something happens. If Putin does close off that big valve, for the gas coming into the EU. Oh, there. Now, somebody commented actually on my video that I saw when I saw that can Russia actually shut off the gas to Europe, and it isn't. From what I can tell, it's not that easy to do. There's lots of consequences of trying to shut the gas off. One is you don't get paid, even if it is in euros. But someone said on there about the gas that's from the North Sea is higher, about 4 times more calorific than the gas that comes from Russia. Almost the stuff that comes from Russia, it's almost what gets put straight into the house. It's a lot weaker. And it's in one of the comments, so you have to take it with a pinch of salt. But what we're saying is that it's cheaper for the UK to export that gas, to have it processed, to become less. So basically, it's divided to 4, diluted, I suppose. So they can have more gas for the money. So anyway, it's more concentrated. North Sea gas apparently is more concentrated. I don't know if anyone here can confirm that, because I haven't checked that out. But I thought it was quite interesting. The other thing is, I've told the story before on here, when I was working at a place called Connectum in Bacton Gasworks. Because I'm from Norfolk, you might have noticed. And I was sitting there doing my muster point, health and safety stuff, what have you. And they sit in front of this big screen. It's not for you, it's for them, And this big screen had all the pipelines and stuff on it, goes across the channel from Connectum. Showed all the pressures and all that sort of stuff. And you can actually see this thing just moving across. It goes up to Belgium, and it turned around and come back again. That's what's going on there, because I was curious, because you just get distracted. I'm supposed to be doing this like health and safety course thing to be able to work on site. And then I was watching, what's that about? And he says, well, you might not realise this, but we export the gas to Belgium and then they pump it back to us. I thought, why? He says, money. He said there's people even working there who'd actually invest in the stock market or whatever they do. Probably some sort of app now. And they can't. They're not allowed to be there at the time. They do it apparently. So this one chap made 10 grand overnight. He was off that day overnight. So I thought that was quite interesting, but also disgusting because all it's doing is pushing the prices up for you. There's all those people in the middle as well. They're all getting paid, aren't they? They're all there sort of like pushing that gas through. Now, obviously not doing that, but you know what I mean. There'll be more people involved and more people selling it and buying it. There's fees, lots of fees. Do you trust the Tories in Wales? Of course not. The Tories. Why would I trust Tories? Mark Drakeford, I think he's brilliant. And I think he was absolutely brilliant during the pandemic. That's my thing anyway. And pretty much everything he said, you can believe what he's saying. I think he's fairly trustworthy. I'm sure there's somebody who'll say different, but that's how I feel about him. And he did step up against the Tories in Boris Johnson. Something had to be said. He said it, and we need more politicians like that, and also we need more like Ian Blackford. Are you a liar, Prime Minister? Okay. So yeah, it's all a bit daft. But But I think we are in a little bit of a tricky situation, aren't we, in the UK? But lucky I'm here, I'm in France, I'm safe, I feel safer here, I'll tell you. I do worry about my kids, obviously. But I think we're all, quite frankly, we're all... Oh! What happened? Try that again. Yeah, we all fecked, that's it, that's what I was after. Well, I wasn't, that just happened, I don't know what I did wrong. I think I pressed the wrong button. That's kind of what you do. So we've got all this going on, haven't we? It's all a bit mad. Apparently the Russians have been mining dead bodies. Oh, the mining... What? He's doing his best. What? Who's doing his best? You wish the majority of... Oh, you're talking Mark Drakeford. Is he doing his best? I think he's doing all right. It's going to be funny. He's dead. Look what he's got to deal with. You wish the majority of good people in the UK... You wish... World at War never being showed here. Most of our older people being... Oh, I think I see his point. I think a lot of people don't... They've never witnessed war, have they? I haven't. It's always been in the distance, Yes, they did nothing to stop that shit, and now... I don't call Germans Nazis. What are you on about? They did nothing to stop that. Who did? Sorry, I'm confused. I don't. In fact, I've got some really good friends that are Germans, and oh my god, that sounds like a. I've got a friend that's a Brexiter. Or I've got a black friend or something like that. That falls under that bracket, doesn't it? So I don't want to say that really, but I have. They did nothing. Okay, no, okay. Oh, Father Ted! I love Father Ted too. Oh, they dropped that. Oh, yeah. Could have a bit of Father Ted. Let's have a bit of Father Ted, shall we?
Coming over here, taking our jobs and our women.
I'm surprised I haven't been demonetised. I probably will be on this one. Oh, there. To stop the panic buying, and the big shops are limiting the amount of certain groceries like oil, sugar. Yes, in Belgium they are, like Lidl's and... I don't know about... Is Aldi doing it as well, as to it? I know Lidl's are. Lidl's actually made a statement, actually, today or yesterday, saying that they expect inflation, food inflation, to be between 5 and 8%. They do say that there's not going to be any shortages in their stores. This is obviously within the European Union, but they also have said that price increases between 5 and 8%. It could be higher. I don't know. I've definitely seen increases, especially talking about oil. Oil's gone up. Oh, it's gone up considerably. We used to pay about €1.48 for in France for oil, not car oil, not engine oil, no, sunflower oil. You know, one made little, with little seeds and stuff. Sunflower oil, and it's now what it was last time we looked. That's 180, 190 a litre. So that's quite a jump. That's more than 5 to 8%. But obviously, some of the flour's still cheap. Because we've actually we did buy a load of flour the other day. Actually, there was masses there. I say buy though, we got quite a bit already. So we just top it up. So what we do is we have a certain amount in our little food stores, and then we just top it as it goes down. We keep replacing our little our store, and we've done that over quite a long period of time. And we were in Lidl's in San Juan 2 days ago because the missus had an appointment at the hospital, and there's masses there. There was no shortages of flour, but we've got to remember that flour wheat products are they're stored. There's like a big buffer, so big stores of wheat. Grain mountains and stuff. Also, yes, they are doing it. A bit of a pain when you do your main shopping once a month. I was actually saying that to the missus, actually. Because for us, because we're very rural, I don't know if you're rural there, Esther, but because we're quite rural, we wouldn't necessarily keep popping to the shop. We do it, well, we do, we generally, but once a week, actually, in the shop, for one reason, because we're passing or doing something, we'll end up in the shop. But there's lots of people like Vera, our neighbour. She doesn't shop every week. She just stocks up, and it's quite common in rural France. People, but they have food stores. It's just how they've eaten. They're like little hamsters. They are. They're hamstering. Yeah, that is a pain. I get you dead. Let's do it. Interesting to see Adolf Galland, ace German pilot, talk about the Battle of Britain. God, where was that? Was it on YouTube or was it on the TV? Because I'd like to see that. Lee Corn, 4 weeks until we run out of sunflower oil. Oh my God, really? Now the thing about sunflower oil, when we first came here in France, we were using colza, which is rapeseed oil, a lot because it was cheaper. Because we're tight or poor. Is that relative or was it absolute poverty? I don't know. Anyway, we have colza. Why can't we? Ever since we've been here, we haven't been able to make nice, chips, hand cut chips. And excuse me. And why is this? And it wasn't until we spoke to someone who actually fries chips from a little chip van. And he said to us, "No, you don't use colza. Basically, it doesn't get to a high enough temperature. It goes to a certain temperature and it stops at that temperature, and it's not high enough temperature." So he says sunflower. So been fine since. Our chips are fine now. Oh, Glasgow! I need to keep you in a manner you are accustomed to. I love my pencil, by the way. Oh, cheers, buddy. Excellent. I'm accustomed to it. Anyone who enjoys the channel and streams, thank you. That's most kind. Yeah, that's it. I don't get people that like button. That'd be really cool. As well, that also helps. So yeah, times are hard for people, so I do understand if you can't do that. It's not in the end of the day. It's just it does help, but also there's a lot of people worse off than I am. We've got a house. We don't starve. We're okay. Coals or corn oil? No, could that be maize? I thought it's rapeseed oil. I can quickly check though. I might be wrong. I thought it was rapeseed oil. Colza. Maybe you can check. Maybe you have checked. Diluted plant-rich nozzle proteins, vegetables. Rapeseed. It's rapeseed. So yeah, I was right. According to this, I'm on terranova.fr. I did just read it in French, mind. So I might be wrong, but it says definitely says rapeseed, colza. Rapeseed. It's an oil seed. So corn oil will be like maize, wouldn't it? Sorry, Lee. It's not a popular belief around these parts. Sorry, I don't know what it's about. So I'd like to watch the history of British. Oh my God, British Leyland! Oh crikey! Oh, I don't know. Do you know what the thing about British Leyland is? What they did is they got what parts have we got in the spares? What parts? Oh, I know. We've got those dodgy handles on that were on that older Marina, and the Sherpa van. I know, we're going to put it onto the new one, the new Pilot. They're going to use the same blooming door handles. It's just, people notice these things. It's silly things like that. And then you got that other van. Oh, what's it called? The Maxus? The LDV Maxus. Oh, Leyland delivery vehicles. Well, it's changed how it originated as British Leyland. And anyway, Leyland delivery vehicles. And what they do? They had all these panels and what have you, and they end up being too thin. They had from India, imported panels for this van from India. And it was, the panels were so thick, the body was all floppy. So they spent huge amounts of money to extra bits of metal to stiffen the Maxus. And then they thought it was a good idea to put the flippant dials in the middle of the van, because they could be right-hand drive or left-hand drive. What's the other way around? Don't know. Looked like a bloody Morris Minor. Although the Morris Minors are cool, because I've had several. 4. I had the Morris Minor fetish. My first one was a ex-GPO van, and I sprayed it pink. It's nuts. Getting the bogie horns. Got the old had the 1.1 litre A series block in there, so I took that out and I put in a it was a Ford Corsair engine, an upgrade with the gearbox and bell house and stuff, and then never got right to upgrade the brakes though. That was a mistake. So Mazzola oil. Oh, I got you. Oh, that makes sense. Oh, sorry, buddy. I'm always make mistakes. Henning Wen, okay. Leyland, the best of Britain, really. Right. Do you actually believe that? What about the Marina? What about the Morris Ital? It's kind of like, yeah, I had a Morris Ital. It wasn't great. It's like a slightly bigger Marina, I think, if I remember rightly, Morris Marina. And then what about the Agro, the Allegro? Oh, quick, and the vinyl roof. Apparently it makes it go quicker, or just looks cooler. No, terrible. The Reliant last, well, they didn't rot, did they, old Reliant? No. Now, here in France, we have these little cars called, one of the makes is called Axam, which is AIXAM. And they're par permis, which basically means you don't need a driving licence to drive these cars in France. I understand why, because they're just like, it sound like lawnmowers. And, but they're quite, if say for instance, I'm pretty certain if you lost your driving licence because you've been, I don't know, drink driving or something, which I don't do, but you say you've been drink driving or something, and you lost your driving licence, I think you still can drive these things. Or if you haven't got a licence at all, because it's par permis, obviously, so. Mello says, Russian soldiers are going nuts with guilt. And is that my cue to go back to what we were talking about? That might be a good idea. Because we were talking about mental health. Obviously, like you were saying, rehabilitate soldiers suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder. Now that brings me to thinking that, oh, yes, and all that. Yeah, my grandfather. Oh, damn, I forgot the little book. Bugger. I've got a little book, which is a notebook, and that was I might run down and get it, if that's okay with you a minute. I'll read a couple of extracts in it. And it's a notebook when my grandfather was in the forces, and he was a driver for Colonel Haig, I think it was. And anyway, they went to Belsen Camp. It's one of the first people to go to Belsen Camp, and I've mentioned this before. Oh my God, Lee says his dad had a Natal. Morris Natal. Not a great car. No, the suspension collapsed. Is that right? If that's right, didn't the Allegro or Agro have air suspension? Is that right? Or am I thinking about the Metro? That's a Metro, I think, had air suspension. Or something like that, or the shock absorbers. Or something, anyway. Two CVs are a great car. I'm not. Oh, thanks, Heather Hanks. Yay! What you saying, Heather? Question about P&O. If they have enough money to give redundancy payments out and pay for the new crew, how could they not keep their UK staff employed? Well, the redundancy. It's not just about the redundancy payments. It's about all the other things they have to pay for. Class 4 national insurance contributions and all that sort of stuff. They're avoiding all that. So I hear your point, though. Maybe you're right. Just to get rid of the liability. Maybe it's a way to attract more investment. So we've sorted it out now. Everything's good now. Give us more money. And also, it's probably been it's going to be a requirement from DP World probably. So they probably forced them to do that. Yeah, because P&O Ferries is owned by DP World, who have they don't give a damn about people. That's a good point though, because some of these redundancies are huge. They get like 100 grand payouts and stuff. Some of the people have been there a long time, and they've got to do it in accordance with the law. And some of their wages were they had good wages. Those working there now, God no. I saw more beetles in the UK than in Germany. Really? Crikey. Yeah, there was beetles. Yeah, it's a difference between the Morris Mine and the beetle, like the people's car, weren't they, of the era? And the beetle, if you don't know the beetle had the engine in the back. And little V4 thing, like twin pot V4, air cooled. And it was the only car that was running in the freezing cold weather because all the other cars were all frozen because no one put any antifreeze in. And that was expanding and cracked the block. But the Morris Minor is built. The Morris Minor is a little bit different because the saloon was built on a monocoque construction, so it's like a big floor plan, and everything's bolted to it, like a modern car is. But the vans and the pickups had actual proper chassis, metalwork going all the way through, like a lorry. And the Beetle itself has also got a big floor plan, and you've probably heard the stories where they float and stuff like that. Well, I think that's a bit of a fallacy. I think if they knew, they might float. But yeah, Herbie was okay. Yeah, he could do anything. Herbie could. So yeah, I love the old Beetles. Lovely car. And my friend had one. He put a big old big wild tail boot thing on. Did nothing at all. They just looked cool. Oh, another one. Cool. Brian McGuire. Oh, cheers, buddy. Now pay attention. Keep on subject. But I digress. That's what I do. You obviously watch my videos, Brian. Oh, I know you do. You comment. Right, let's get back on point. I got distracted. I do apologise. Oh, dear. I can't help myself. Oh, where were we? Anyway, my granddad. Yeah. Now, we're talking about rehabilitation, PTSD. And my granddad, when he went into Belson Camp, there was bodies piled up. I was sorry. As they drove in to Belson. He was the driver, like I say, for this colonel. And Joseph von Kramer. That's Joseph von Kramer. I have told this story before actually, but some people might not have heard it. Joseph von Kramer, the Beast of Belsen. Horrible piece of work. But there's different stories about this guy. What he did is he had a big problem with supplies because we keep bombing the railways, so they couldn't get supplies to, food supplies and stuff like that, but also clean water. Oh wow! Oh, cheers, Glasgow. Oh, cheers, buddy. Oh wow, it's good night. And what's he saying? Digress or digest, Brian? I don't know. I don't know how tender it is. It's are you a bit cheery, Brian? Because I know I am. You'd have to cook me long and slow. Oh, like mutton. Actually, mutton, if you do cook mutton's good in a curry, You cook it like you would do goat. Anyway, I digress. So yeah, anyway, he's driving into Belsen Camp, and these bodies are so sad. It's like, you can imagine what it was like. It was war, and it was a prisoner of war camp, and they had to get back. They had to protect Joseph von Kramer. They locked him up in the in the fridge. No, Alexander Barcelfethel Johnson was not there. It's a long time ago, but he would have been otherwise if it was now. And anyway, that was full of meat. Anyway, they kept Joseph von Kramer in this refrigeration unit, big fridge, industrial fridge, and because they all the people, they want to kill him. But my point is, because my grandfather saw all these dead bodies and macerated people, just literally, that's skinny, very skinny, gaunt people. it left an impression on his mind, and then he made an association between that and meat carcasses in the fridge. Now, I told the story before. I used to spend a lot of time with my grandfather. He was a lovely, lovely man, and he'd take me fishing and all stuff like that. I was his only only grandson, sorry. And anyway, I used to lot my grandfather. Anyway, I'd stay overnight most weekends, usually every other weekend actually, and I'd be in my room. Now, my grandmother died at that point, and it was like we used to call it Auntie Audrey. My grandfather remarried. Anyway, she was lovely. She'd do cheese and brown sauce Breville's. That's it. I used to love them. I don't know why hers were so great, but they were only Breville's. You know, tasted sandwiches. And anyway, I get woken up by my grandfather, waking up in hot sweats. Might have in the room next door, obviously, in hot sweats and a panic attack, and we didn't know until about 2 years before he died. He talked about it, and he said he has his recurring nightmares of seeing the prisoners of war dead hanging in this fridge, but they weren't actually hanging in the fridge. No, they were carcasses, like cow carcasses and stuff. But he put the two together, and in his mind, it's how your mind it plays mind games with you. Now, my grandfather gifted to my father gifted to my sister von Kramer, the Beast of Belson's, one of his dress, he has several, but one of his dress daggers. It was the basic one, there wasn't nothing that fancy. And my sister's got it now. She mustn't sell it, it's illegal to sell that kind of war Nazi war memorabilia. But if you take unscrew the hilt, it's got his initials in the spigot, the spiky bit with the screw bit on the end. So yeah, it's the point being, war, such traumatic things that you see, whether it be women, children, the soldiers, it damages you. I don't care. You've got to be pretty hard, ain't you? Not to be affected by what's going on in Ukraine. It's been times. I don't cry generally, but I have to admit, I've been times me and the missus have been quite emotional about it, what we've been seeing. And it's just, you think, what now? Why is this happening now? You can't quite get a head around it, and the viciousness of it, and the cruelty. It's just evil, plain it, just evil. And then you watch Vladimir Putin, smiling like a Cheshire cat, standing beside Donald Trump at the podium. Just feeding, basically. Trump feeding Putin. It's all down to the golden showers. We're talking about indoctrination, really, aren't we? Talking about people that get drawn into that they're doing the right thing, whether it be the soldiers or whether it be people who support it. Now, before I carry on, I want to sort of check the chat, see what you guys and girls are saying. Oh, 12 volt can do wonders. Okay, it's high amperage though, 12 volt. I don't know what you're referring to. I prefer chickpeas in a curry. I like chickpeas in a curry. Lee, you're a vegetarian, aren't you? Are you a vegetarian, Lee? I think you are. Yeah, I like chickpeas in a curry too. The only thing is, if you buy dried chickpeas, don't keep them for too long, because we bought loads and we brought them over here, and 2 years later they were, no matter how much you boil them, they always end up bullets. They weren't great. No, they were okay, and then they went a bit horrid. So maybe they get so dry you can't rehydrate them. I don't know. I'm guessing, obviously. Mutton needs to be slow cooked, as it does. Curried mutton is amazing. Yes, it is. I hate to say it, but yes, it is. I see. 12 volt and later. I got you. My dad worked on Triumph Roadsters. As a child, I thought they were beautiful. They are. We talk about like little Triumph TR3s, TR4s. Then he went to the Triumph Stags and the little Spitfire. And then we got the TR7. That was a letdown. I think I was trying to be the Bond, the Lotus, the Lease, the Spree, the Spree. The white one, with the fins. Glug, glug, glug. Ginger giraffe. So I had a 1963 Beetle, and it was 6-volt. Ah, cool. Now, my old Morris Minds, they didn't have an alternator. They had a dynamo. So you had like a regulator thing that switched on and off if the voltages were too low to charge the batteries. Didn't drain power out of the battery. You had to set them up with a little multimeter. They were the days. These days, you plug them into your laptop. Let's go now. Gone a bit far up now. Glasgow will tell me off. Oh, there. You golfed. God, souls crikey. Really? It said a golf took over the sales numbers of Kafir over 20 million. Of the Kafir, I don't know what that means, sorry. I thought it did, but I don't. They counted shoe glasses, etc. afterwards. Brian McGuire. War to a man's blind indifference, to a fellow man, to a whole generation that were butchered and damned. Eric Bogle. The green fields of France. God. My father never talked about World War II. Yeah, that's what I said my granddad, he never did. Until he felt it was the last opportunity, I suppose. Until the year I had a teacher that tried to deny the Holocaust, and he smuggled a roll of film. They took processed. Oh crikey! Wow. Well, at Oradell, Sir Glen, they had a Holocaust exhibition. I don't think they've got it there anymore. This was a few years back. And it was a lot of uncovered footage. It might even been that, but there's like a lot of uncut, footage that had never been seen before. I'll get the worms out in a minute. And that was a real eye opener. Like piles of bodies piled up in the transports. The train transports. It's shocking. Oh, Art Tracker says, we talked a lot about the war because of the trauma my granny had. We're back in this. These people, the Ukrainian families, what have you, and not all Russians, obviously, and some Russians they're badly affected by this as well. They're not all following that doctrine, Putains doctrine, no. The Portuguese will say that Portugal invaded every country and made deals to stop wars. Reality is still going on. Portugal pretending not to be a part of it. The Putin war does still come up. Ooh, okay. A Vegisaurus. Oh, Lee Corn is a Vegisaurus. You're a Vegisaurus. He's veggie. Like I said, I was a veggie 5 years. I did it for. Then I succumbed to the bacon butty. It's terrible. The older one died in. Oh, okay. Right, let's get back to what we do. Anyway, where was I? I was talking about my neighbour. She won't be watching this, so that'll be all right. She's a really good friend of ours, and she's an anti-vaxxer, which causes all sorts of problems. And also, she doesn't believe the West regarding the war in Ukraine. She thinks the Ukrainians are terrible, and they're all Nazis. The Ukrainians. That's my son. Yeah. And it's just maddening. It's absolutely maddening. This is my neighbour. So you can't. We have to live here. And she is French. She's got a lot of friends who also have the same mentality regarding this. But it's just indoctrinated into this belief. It's she's obviously she thinks all the media on the West. She doesn't watch the news or anything like that. So she's got herself into this little, well, she's gone down the rabbit warren, isn't she? She's just gone straight down that rabbit warren, and it's maddening. It's absolutely maddening. And how do you get past that? And maybe someone could tell me, but I just don't know how I'm going to deal with this because I just can't. I'm going to end up saying something that I'm going to regret later, and it's How do you deal with that? She literally lives over, about 100 yards. 100 metres. Yeah, more like 100 metres, 100 yards. I prefer yards. No, I don't. Yards are silly. I prefer metres. They're easy to put decimal points in. Instead of fractions. Right, anyway, so she's got that little rabbit. So how do I deal with that? How do I actually communicate with her with any kind of logic. How do I get my point across? Or do I just not try? Just don't go there. I think just don't go there. So media censorship is a tool of war, isn't it? Misinformation, what have you. And the people in Russia, they're falling for it. You know? For instance, I think there's one. No, not you.
I know for sure that we have never taken any aggressive actions. Never. Russia is only defending itself.
The fault lies with Ukrainian politicians. Vladimir Putin is doing what he can to help out.
Okay. No, I understand the fact that obviously they don't. No, I don't actually, because they can access the truth. They just choose not to find it. It's like denial. It makes you complicit. That's what I see it. Now, media censorship typically stands in conflict with freedom of expression. So, obviously, Putin's the media censorship, isn't he? You know, he's put up Facebook, Instagram, various others, and if you say anything, well, then, quite frankly, you get locked up for 15 years. You know, protests, well, you hold a piece of paper and you get locked up. You have to say anything, you just get locked up. And it's people living in fear just to be able to speak their mind. Well, that's happening in the UK as well now, isn't it? That bill. It's just nuts. It's just nuts. But they fall for this stuff, and it isn't just that. People in general, people who fall into that kind of, they cushion themselves with these lies and that propaganda. Don't be wrong. There's plenty of propaganda on the West as well. And, you know, there's things that are exaggerated or not necessarily 100% truthful. Like for instance, I don't know what paper it was, but Caroline's telling me something. And it's just, oh my God, do you know what, Marcus? You're not going to be able to use a mobile phone in the car at all, even if you're a passenger. So she gets halfway through the article and she realised halfway through, that's probably the Sun or the Mirror or something like that, not Mirror, whether it's Mirror or Sun, I don't know what it is. Anyway, it was a tabloid probably, an online article. So it's got halfway down, you realise it was, if for instance you are a driving instructor or something like that. If you are instructing or you are providing support for the driver. If they ain't clickbait, I don't know what it is. That's just, to me, that's just, it's nuts. But people fall for it. We clicked on it. Caroline clicked on it, and Caroline said it to me, and obviously I took it in. I'm like, really? That can't be right. Why would you do that? It makes no sense. So cogs start turning. But if you don't have the mental capacity, but also you don't have the tools in front of you, like you've said, no, I don't have to do with that media. I just want this media because it tells me what I want to hear. It keeps me in my bubble. Yeah. It's like the dark web. And it's you're kind of stuck there. They're stuck there. And how do you pull them out of that? Don't know if you can. Brexiters, you know. Going on about what are that things like EU is undemocratic. Well, of course it's democratic. The people saying it's not democratic have been voted in there. It doesn't make any sense. But hell, you had Anne Widdecombe in there. She was an MEP. Turning her back on the Eau de Joy. Not just Farage, whatever his name is. Was it George Useless as well? He was there as well, wasn't he? Just a bunch of lying. That's what they are. So, I don't know. I don't know where you can go with it, to be honest. I mean, obviously, this leads into like a narrative that we just don't want to accept the problems that are around us, and we're happy to be problems that we potentially cause or being a part of, and it's almost like protecting yourself from the truth. But why would you want to? Why would you want to be lied to? I don't know. That's what you're saying. Maybe someone could tell me. My grandparents and dad's side were not angry with Germany, but mother's side was. But I'm not. Spoke with mother since I was 18. Oh, I spoke to my mother since I was 18. Oh, crikey. Oh, blimey. Sorry about that, Jasper. My mum died when she was 51. She had cancer. She had the big C, horrible. There are far-right militias who are fighting in the east of Ukraine, but Putin has expanded this to include all politicians and military in Ukraine. Oh, whatever next. Mariupol, yes, terrible. It will be about 20 years. Yeah, if I was about 20 years younger and no family here, I'd be holding a rifle in Mariupol. I'm sure lots of people would. That's another point, actually, because the UK government said anyone who went over there is going to be potentially tried as a terrorist. I think the thinking is that if you go over there to participate, you become a representative of your country of birth, or where you hold your citizenship. And if you cause a war, that means you cause war, but Putin could use that Britain's or the UK is participating, putting boots on the ground, so to speak. Sure that I don't fall. Oh, I see. Yeah. I have to try and look at other channels to ensure that I don't fall into that trap, indoctrination. So yes, it's I'll tell you what. I can recommend one for you. Oh, before I do though, who was that? Heather Hanks. Thanks, Heather. Oh, have you watched Clarkson's? I have. Yeah, only a bit. Yeah, I was just on YouTube, little bits on YouTube, so I haven't actually watched the whole thing. I actually quite like Clarkson. He's an arrogant sod, though, isn't he? I was waiting for him to punch somebody else. Anyway, this is who you should be watching.
To fork, or we could all starve.
Really? Okay. Sorry about the alignment there, but let's do it again.
And from farm to fork, or we could all starve.
Well, I think Jeff Taver is an automaton. So I thought somebody's got some, twiddling them. Yeah, maybe. So, Ever Hanks, have you ever watched Clarkson's Farm? Bits are on YouTube. YouTube? Is that like a... I don't know what YouTube is. Can I get that here in France, YouTube? I'll have a look later. I've seen bits, pieces, clips and stuff that records clips. I need a red curtain! What? This be just like...
And from farm to fork, or we could all starve.
God, Ben. Jeff is a sonataran. Oh dear. Oh, definitely. It's also a lousy excuse for an invasion. It certainly is. It's not even an excuse. Denazification's crazy. Probably get Ukrainian citizenship if you fight alongside. That's a good point. And I need a red curtain. Be good for the sound. Many regular citizens have applied to fight in Ukraine, but they have been refused by Ukraine as to no military experience, so a liability. Haven't you heard of cannon fodder? No? Like lemons. Season 2 coming soon. What does Johnny say? Come on. Johnny. The main far-right militias fighting in Donbass are Russian nationalists. Yes. Well, the fighting's been going on in Donbass for a very long time, hasn't it? But it's obviously escalated now. But they're killing them as well. It's just nuts. It's war. You'd be a merc, not a terrorist. Oh, a mercenary. It says a glutinous machina. Or machina? Glutinous machina? to be a mercenary. Would you be a mercenary? It depends on how well, I kind of agree with you, but it depends on what the government kind of puts you down to. Really, wouldn't it? I don't know. I'll probably far right. Okay, militia. I'll scroll down and I'll get back into my what's it. The show where Mario says, "Red curtain, either a horror movie or a porno." Oh dear. He's got quite a few subscribers. I think he's got about 100. He's got similar to Phil Morehouse from Different Bias. 130 odd thousand subscribers. But he's actually been complaining recently. As no, I don't follow him. It's just somebody told me. Then I checked out, and he has. He's been complaining that his views have gone down. Well, I think they've gone down for a lot of people. I noticed that Max was having problems as well. Nowhere near like my own. But yeah, it's not helpful. You know, Max Rosebear from Max Rosebear. That's not his name. And the cock Chinese knockoff of the Japanese automaton. Yes, he is. I feel like he got to wind it up. The old Jeff Taylor. I've got to wind my Jeff Taylor up. Okay. Wind them up.
And from farm to
there you go.
fork, or we could all starve.
I'll leave that alone now. Sorry. Oh, dear me. But during the Brexit debate, he was doing so well. And he's not a fool. He knows what he's doing. I just don't like what he's doing. He's not very nice. I think he'd be treated as a mercenary and not covered under... Oh, I see. And not covered under the Geneva Convention. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that. I'd always fancied a green bottle velvet suit. Really? You'd be like the Riddler. That's it. You'd look like the Riddler. I'd look like a fat Riddler. Oh, Jeff, yes. Like Trumpton. Yeah, yeah. Oh, Trumpton. Oh dear. They were the days. He's still about. He's still making crazy videos. I'll tell you what he ain't doing videos about. Let's see if I can find it. Where is it now? I've got a video here somewhere. No, not that one. Not that one. Who's good for the health? No, it's not that one. Ah, this one. I'm a fool.
The big getaway that became the big standstill. Hours of traffic heading to Dover, stretching back more than 12 miles.
That is really quiet. Why is it so quiet?
Stuck in their cars for up to 14 hours. Some of them overnight.
I hope that was loud enough. That's quite quiet. I wouldn't go any louder. So yeah, it's there's obviously a lot of poo in bags and pee in bottles. Where's Farage when you need him? But at least it looks like the Tories aren't getting much support. Farage is not getting much support for his so-called referendum to not go net zero by 2050. So the voting public are pretty much saying no, we need to do this. So no matter what the backbenchers might be saying, that they might find it hard to, they don't want to lose. Yeah, they don't want to lose the voters, do they? Pooh hoo, Barney McGrew, Cuthbert Dibble and yeah. Oh god, yeah, that was fun. That was the things we used to have. We used to watch Trumpton, and then we had Bad Puss. Oh, don't say Bad Puss because somebody else likes Bad Puss.
I think it's rather uplifting.
Yeah, him. There's pictures of Jacob Rees-Mogg floating about with Bagpuss. Okay. Strange as it is. Now, refugees trying to settle in the UK, well, they're still having huge problems. In fact, some of them are giving up. Loads of them are giving up. And the volumes are so low. It's what's been accepted. We've got past the UK's intense rules. They're asking them, can you prove your wages? Can you prove this? Can you prove... They've got no access to half this stuff. And I haven't got a job now. just ridiculous. They know that. And Pretty Patel, she was going on about, I think it was in The Guardian. Let's have a look. There you are. Let's get up there. There you go. In The Guardian, she was going on about, that's all. What's going on there? My alignment is all over the place. Let me just make it a bit smaller. There you go. She's like, how brilliant we're doing. 100,000 Ukrainian refugees may come to Britain under family visas. Now, family visas will already exist. So it's not the fruit pickers visas now, though. You can get now. It's the family visas. Well, there's Europeans, people, who reside in Europe, French, German, try to live, citizens of, have been trying to get this family visas, and so many of them are just hitting a wall. It's almost like this is all designed to fail, to discourage people from coming. So there she is. Oh, crikey, let's have that. Will we have sound? Yep. Really? I wonder. Is it the same? Let's get back off there. There you go. Is it the same 100,000 that she just got a donation? She's just been given 100,000 donation from a company. Who was it again? Let's have a look. Yeah, from a company run by one of the world's biggest oil traders. Now, it has been entered into the Home Office's Members Register of Interests, unlike Richie Sunak about his wife, the fact that she's got 430 million worth of shares and taking dividends from Russia. Lovely people. And anyway, it's been put into the Register of Interest, and it shows that she's received funds from Alderon Ventures Limited, and this company is headed by Pierre Alderon, and he's a major oil trader. I wonder if it's like, maybe it's to pay for the 100,000 refugees come from Ukraine. Maybe, it's going to be £1 per head, maybe? No, I don't know. The woman's despicable. She's just an evil piece of work. She really is. And this is just, it's all lip service, because in reality, it's not actually happening. No. Even the website that the Ukrainians have to use, I don't know if it has now, maybe someone can tell me, but as of the 25th of March, it didn't even have, it wasn't translated into, there's no translation for Ukrainian. And although it's quite surprising how many Ukrainians speak English, it's quite embarrassing actually. Quite often their English is fantastic. Who's that? Somebody at the back of the door. Oh, somebody at the door. Yes, so quite, but many of them don't. So you've got a website designed to help Ukrainians, but there's no Ukrainian, the language isn't there to support it. Now, I do have some good news though. Grant Shapps, if that is his real name, internet scammer, is taken in a Ukrainian family. Oh, wow. Haven't they suffered enough, quite frankly? I would say so. Is it Grant chaps? Michael Green, Corrine Stockheath, and Sebastian Fox. Well, they've all taken in the nation. Yes, Grant chaps had aliases in 2000. When was that again? I think that was about 2012. They do internet scams, basically. Is trying to sell get-rich-quick schemes or what have you, and online packages to, sign up to this and we'll teach you how to do that. And you'll become a millionaire, you will, millionaire. And you too will have a small, light aircraft. And have the ability to oppose the wind turbines, offshore, inshore, wherever. Because you don't like them in your flight path. That's probably what it is. So, and Richie Sunak, well, starve a kid to save a quid. That's what he wants to do, quite frankly. He's on holiday in the US. And there you be suffering forthcoming food shortages and no help in the mini budget, if that's what it is. No. And then we've got gas prices going through the roof. I wonder if they're still moving that gas across the channel, back and forth, just to push the price up, maybe. It's just the whole thing's a joke. These people, they've got no idea how the other people live, how we live. And they don't care. They're still accepting their pay rises. You've got Rishi Sunak, for God's sake. How much is he worth? He's probably the richest man in the government. And he's happy to accept a 2,000 quid pay rise. Well, we know the real reason why he's there is just so he can set the wheels in motion so his own companies benefit from his position. That's why you get lobbyists. Now, £1.9 million apparently is now available to local councils to help Ukrainian refugees. But that's all very well. The thing is, this is all a scam because the Britain government knows they're not going to get that many refugees because they've set the wheels in motion, so it doesn't. So they don't. They made it very difficult to get these visas. And why the hell we got visas anyway? When other countries say, look what Poland's doing. For God's sake, they're still allowing them in and accepting them if they want to stay. That's amazing, quite frankly. Now the UK has only, so the last figures I found was about 1,000 Ukrainian refugees have come into the UK with their new visas, and 2,700 visas have actually been granted, and they haven't arrived yet. Now the numbers of refugees arriving in Ireland is 16,500. And like I say, Poland's refugees, it's admirable what they've been doing, whereas the UK's, quite frankly, is shameful and embarrassing. And this is going to shoot us in the foot later on. It's all going to come to light, and they're all, hopefully Ukraine gets back on its feet without Vladimir Putin dragging them down. And they're going to look back on all this stuff, and they're going to say, well, the people, that is, they're going to say, well, you didn't really help us much, why should we help you? So, but why do they want to go there anyway? Because the UK is like the leper colony of Europe. It really is. Not you good people, obviously. No. It's just nuts. And like I said earlier, let's look on the bright side. At least Tommy Robinson, Stephen Yaxley, Lennon, that's his real name. When was he born? When was he born? It was about 1980s, 1982-ish, something like that. Don't know how old that makes him. But anyway, he got rejected. He wasn't allowed through border control. Maybe it's got something to do with Frontex. Border control, do you think? Maybe. So, these people, they live on another planet, don't they? They really do. So, careful. And it does make me wonder. So, let me just check this. So, but then we've got Oh, where was it? Liz Truss. You know, it's 3 weeks ago now, but when she said this,
The United Kingdom does welcome refugees.
caught in the act. Yeah, do they really? A 1,000 and how many weeks has it been now? And the visa scheme is just ridiculous. I didn't even put it in glass. Got a glass there for that. How does this make us look? It makes us look like a right old. You know what I mean. You know what it makes look like. Make us look like a
Tipper.
Yeah, it does. Jeff is better at 1.5 times speed. I'll have to try that. Says Permy Bird. Hello, Permy Bird. Simon says, I'm not fighting, nor will I keep any grudge to Mellow Mellow. I was just explaining what I said. Thanks anyway. No. I think you'd be treated as. Oh, hang on. I need to scroll down. Sounds. Oh, there you go. Let's come down there. Art Trader said, I ride a motorbike, but I don't drink or smoke. Well done, buddy. Do you really want to go this? Oh, sorry, I won't get into that. I'm not getting into that. There's no European country that did not do any. Yeah, but that's. I'm sorry, Glutinous Machine, but that's. We're talking about what about we here, aren't we? It's really we need to be talking about the current situation, what's going on. I don't want to justify what's going on in Ukraine with what we've done in the past, because we have. I'm not going to deny it. Our past is sketchy. Especially the UK, well, and France as well. It's pretty sketchy. Slavery, for instance. And we've still got people who are actually in government who are still profiteering off the money earned by their forefathers and money, you know? Slavers. Richard Drax. He's a Brexiter as well. Climate change, no wind, and then too much wind. For wind turbines, it's a bit like that. I can vouch for that one. I did tell you the other week, actually, when our turbine was spinning so flippin' fast, the blades just left. It's supposed to track out the wind, but the tail got stuck. Which like sort of supposed to track it out, but it didn't. And then it just went faster and faster, and the blades. I think the generator's still okay on it, but oh dear. Scottish government got 48 visas in less than 2 days for orphans for Ukraine. Fantastic. In 2 days. It's possible, isn't it? It's flipping possible, and yet we're not doing it. It does make me a bit furious, to be honest. There's people suffering. And it's so blooming cold as well. Well, we're blah 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 blah. Hope it's not Simpson. What? Hope it's not a Simpson. They're very stinky. What? What do you mean they're not a Simpson? Who's a Simpson? Yeah, of course, no impact on the evil shit. Yeah, no, fair bet, buddy. Glutinous Machine is saying, it's obviously response to what I said. Yeah, that has, of course, no impact on the evil shit that Russia's doing today. No, it's true. I just feel that we because they get thrown, because even in the comments sometimes on the videos, if I do anything about Russia and what have you, I get so much whataboutery. And, oh, look at what they're doing, such, what about this, what about... And I think to myself, that doesn't excuse it. We should be living in the here and now. Now, I wouldn't want to do no harm to anyone, unless you're Brexiter, of course. I've got things I could do. Yeah. Okay. Crackerman, the biggest issue, Brexit and global Britain too, is that the world remembers global Britain won, and they do not forgive. Now there is that slavery, for instance, is just I didn't understand what's going on. You know, I was brought up at a time when my father would be having what's it called? Oh, the Black and White Minstrel Show and stuff like that would be on the TV, and then we had Robinson's Jams and Gollywogs and all this sort of stuff. And at the top, as a kid growing up, you didn't. To me, it was just a cuddly toy. You know, and it didn't have that association. Didn't understand. It's like when you get old, and then you get it's put blatantly in front, put in front of your face, and your eyes are opened up, and you think, "My God, really? Is that really what it means?" I can't remember what it is now. There's a saying. It's an old seafarers saying about slaving ships. I can't remember what it is. Oh, I can't remember that. Maybe somebody knows. It's about the dead bodies and stuff like that in those who died in the slaving ships. Shocking. It's absolutely shocking. It's like judging Germans now and then don't. It's daft. I agree. You're right, Chris Murphy. It's absolutely ridiculous. None of us are the same people. We're spawned from our parents, and our parents are spawned from their parents, and it's just daft. A motorcycle, Jasper says. Jasper says a motorcycle. Yeah, I've got a motorcycle. I need to get a new battery for it though. I haven't done it yet. Putin's doing things now. He is, and these things are shocking, and he knows what's going on over there. Obviously, he'll be in direct contact with it, with his corporals while they're getting run over by a tank. I don't know if you heard about that one, but yeah, there was a kerfuffle. A mutiny in the ranks there was, and they drove over their corporal in a tank. I shouldn't laugh, but it's just it's comedy. It's sick comedy, but it's comedy. The sins of the fathers are not the sins of the son. Yeah, you're right. My dad was Brexiter, and I hope that doesn't make me a Brexiter, because I certainly am not. I think you can, I think you know that. Yeah, and my dad supported Nigel Farage. It made it very difficult when he came for tea. I was getting to the point I didn't want him to come around. It was just, but then he got really ill, and then he died, and obviously things that I felt I should have said before, which I did say, to get out of my own system. Some ways I'm glad I didn't, because obviously it made things very frosty. But it's just I just wish I came clean. You know what I mean? Dad, you're being a C-U-N-T. You've been a flippin'
Kipper.
That's what you're being, Dad. Oh, damn. Houston, we have a problem. Okay. Oh, dear, that's all going to be sticky now, isn't it? Sticky mess. I do apologise. I shouldn't. Well, doesn't make any difference to you, does it? Sprays. Oh, yeah. That'll do it. That's better. Oh my God, that's. Oh. That's better. Right, okay. Oh, there. You can inherit the blood money and still be innocent. Well, you can, but if you're spending that money and not accepting it, and that's true, you still be innocent of the crime, but you should at least accept that the money, and come clean where the money's come from, and maybe do something positive instead of being a Tory. Gotcha. Oh dear. Mellow, Putin brings the future. Sorry, but someone who welcomes what Putin brings to the world. Yeah. I find it really difficult to deal with, to be honest. I just don't get it. New barman, please. That's terrible, isn't it? I've never worked in a bar, I have to admit, and you can probably tell. Get down your gullet. Oh dear. He makes a mess and refuses to apologise. Yep, that is Alexander Stephen Johnson. He's cocked everything up. And it's well, for starters, painfulness. Things he's cocked up. What about
with contact tracing? Tracing.
I don't want to forgive you. I'm not going to forgive you for anything, Mr. Alexander Boris de Fettel Johnson. No. You Putin. Sycophant? Not a sycophant. Putin, well, at least an oligarch. Sycophant. Oh, dear. The man is a loon. A complete utter loon. Royal family blood money. Yeah, I agree. I'm not going to argue with it. Do you know what? I used to have the kids used to be anti-royals. And so we used to disband the royal family, blah, blah, blah. And I used to defend the royal family to the kids. And I said, yeah, no, I'm not. Oh, they're quite big and quite a bit of money, what have you, and stuff like that. It's quite nice to have. And then I started doing this. And I realised I did videos on this before, like hiding their wealth from the likes of you and I, to the point of changing policy in Parliament, so they didn't have to expose their wealth. Wealth that it's literally where they're investing their money in places that are, well, abuses of human rights. You lead by example, shouldn't you? And that's why I should never work in a bar. Oh dear. I miss the smell of a pub, but I don't drink. Oh, Jasper. I'll cut down. You probably realised, I used to drink too. I wasn't horrendous. I wasn't drunk or anything all the time. I was just in the evenings, every evening I'd drink a little bit, and it's and I don't drink during the week anymore. So all I have now is I have 1 bottle of wine and 2 beers. And that's my weekend supply. And I still got wine in there. So I won't be touching that. I've got the beer going. So I don't crave much now. I can take it or leave it. I'm not bothered. Although if I get my still out, that might persuade me. Don't get the still out, Marcus. No, not the still. Did I say that online? Oh, you get to prove it. It's like Little Nelly. It comes in components. You never know what it is. Yeah, Little Nelly. That's Bond, James Bond. I really doubt the Tories are in the pocket of Putin. They simply do not care about what is happening in Ukraine. So why do anything about it? But it's just we know they've been getting money. It's not just to prop up the Tory party. They've been lobbied by Russia as well. They put a flippin' Russian in Russia, Lord Lebedev. It kind of says it all, doesn't it? That's what I think. No, it's just it drives me insane, if I'm honest.
About House of Lords. The Lords will never let the bill through.
Really? I will now, because you got Lord Lebedev. And both of them. Oh my Gideon and I've got his name now. The Education Secretary Gaze who don't wash his car. They can nor do I. Oh, cheers, Glasgow. Oh, blimey. I'm no royal family fan. They should be gone. But are the royal babies guilty of century-old... No, of course not. No. No, they're not. Of course they're not. You've got a royal family in Holland, didn't you? In the Netherlands as a royal family. But they got jobs. Don't they work? Glasgow Kiss, brilliant. Jamie Goff is here. Where's Jeremy? What's Jeremy saying? Hello, Jeremy. Dog watch. I met a beagle puppy this week. They called him Eddie. I think that is brilliant. Oh, well, Eddie the Eagle. A eagle. Ah, Eddie the Beagle. He's got big glasses on. Maybe. Just don't send him skiing, because no. I hope Jeremy's well. I can't understand the concept of a queen, not in the British style. I only kneel in church sometimes. I'm not a religious person, to be honest. I can see merits in the church, but I also can see the the merits in the church. Yeah, my son-in-law is very, very religious. Catholic, and they live their life in a way that it's just to do good for others. the real community spirit and stuff like that. He's Nigerian, and he's I've said this before. He's a lovely, lovely lad, clever, really, really clever lad. The techie guy, and he's a kind of he's a basically well he was an immigrant, a migrant, come to the UK, worked in the health service as a porter for several years while he did his education as a programmer, and now he teaches other people to do programming. Well, break websites and break software and stuff like that. Work it out, to see where their flaws are, the vulnerabilities. He's doing very well, driving around in his Mercedes. Not good for the environment. No, I do tell him that. But he's a lovely guy, And when I went back to the UK, I met him. Well, I speak to him, but I actually met him for the first time. I went to the UK a couple of weeks ago, and he's a genuine chap. He really is, and he's very family orientated. Everything's about the family, and he's helped his brother. His brother's going for education, doing pretty much the same as what he's doing. So his brother's now training, and he's got his visa and stuff like that to be able to do so. And now his sister is coming to the UK to do the same thing, visas and what have you. He has to renew the visa every so often, obviously. So it's just everything's temporary. But that's my only worry with my daughter and my son-in-law. Is if things go bad regarding visas and what have you, where to put them? So yeah, big glasses and a lisp, absolutely useless. Yes. Oh dear, he was funny. They did film about Eddie the Eagle a while back. I thought that was quite amusing. The beagle has landed. I did actually want a beagle, and then when we were doing rehoming for dogs, we were fostering dogs, and I had this big old dog called Portia, and to be rehomed. It was actually I found it really difficult because you got to bond with the animal. And she was very nervous, was Portia. And she was a big hunting hound, a bit like a pointer, but she's big. But she had a greasy coat, like a big cross with like big beagly ears. And it wasn't a beagle, but a beagle-like ears and what have you. Brilliant hunt dog. Although, she wouldn't have been because she'd been too nervous because she was a nervous wreck, and And it kind of. I wouldn't want, after having her, I wouldn't want the beagle because it's just really greasy coat and just constantly rubbing against walls and stuff. Like grease on the walls, and I know it sounds petty, but you got to deal with it. So I got my Wally, and anyway, we rehomed her anyway. So, and she had a habit of eating the left shoe, always the left shoe for some reason. I don't know why that is. So there's lots of right shoes everywhere. Oh crikey! I was speaking to online. One of my old woodworking friends, and it was in the workshop, and he had a machinery accident in the workshop, and it pretty much took almost his entire left side of his body. He was in a hell of a flipping state. And he showed me the pictures of it, and it was gruesome, absolutely gruesome. And it was in a sawmill, so it was quite a serious injury with the old circular saw. Quite shocking. But don't worry, he's all right. Don't give up your day job. Oh, wasn't Snoopy a beagle? That he was. I think he was. Yeah, he'd been a beagle. But I'm like, you should have saved that grease. I know and that natural cooking oil's more expensive. Yeah, for the dog grease. Is there no independent verification? Also, I don't know. I was going to see the check against the Russian numbers, and I think it's going to be very hard to check numbers glutinous. Not for a while, anyway. My relationship with the church is on duty. We were Prussian knights and have a written contract. Oh, cool. The thing is, you've got to just treat people with respect, haven't you? Unless they're Brexiters, and then you can call them whatever you like. You have my permission, okay? Because they're all just... Tipper! That they are. They're plonkers.
Don't be a plonker all your life, Rodney.
Oh, that was delayed. Right. Oh, I've seen someone last in real life since just about Edwards. I really find it. Simon says, I finally get the joke. Eddie the Beagle, yeah, good. Hate the cleaning stuff that you use in pubs these days. Turns my guts, it does. Oh, that was Beagle Bum. Oh. Where are we? You should have said. Oh, scroll down. Woodstock. Christmas. Oh, Woodstock. Oh, hell. What have I done? Yes, you started something there, you old beagle. Jeremy Goff. That's never had a grease problem with the beagles. I had. It wasn't a beagle. That was some sort of hunter, but it had a really greasy coat. She was absolutely lovely though, and we used to have to bath her quite regular. I had to get in the shower with her, and she's like, not shower in the bath with her because she just you wouldn't stop. She'd just get out. So we get in the bath. She'd be like this on the side of the bath. It's like, and there I am behind her, scrubbing her up. It's like a mountain. It's just wrong. It looks wrong. It did, but it wasn't mountain. No, it's a dog. Not my thing. I'm sure there's some people out there who would, but that's not for me. The whole group was checking the documentation, identifies and geolocates the losses. We have come up with 450 plus tanks. Crikey. Is that 450 Russian tanks, I imagine? They are doing really well, but, every one of those tanks that get, there might be people there who don't really... who don't really believe in what's going on. That's why they drive over their corporals, maybe. But every tank that explodes, there's I don't know how many people. There are 4 people in the tank. That's one thing Russia does have is people. Was at 1 point. How many people they got in Russia? It's about 130, 140 million people in Russia, isn't it? And in their armed forces, and 1.3 million, similar to China, if I remember rightly. Quite a lot, anyway. The problem is a lot of them are conscripts as well. They're sending conscripts in as well from Russia into Ukraine, which is pretty awful. They're kids, basically. My mother raised me not to mock the afflicted. I'm sorry. I do try to be nice. Don't do it, Brian. Don't do it. Don't be nice to Brexiters. No. Oh dear. Our breed of dogs are what? Wombles? I don't know. Is that a Womble breed? Wombling Wimbledon, wombling me. Oh. The beagles are coming. Oh. But the woody hair. As Captain Blackadder said. Getting like Crufts in here. I got a plan. Esther Witt. We have had a foster dog that used to run in pasture to roll in... Oh, Esther Witt, my little Pandora. We took her for a walk yesterday, and the cows had been in the field, and they were eating the poo. She was eating the poo, sorry. Cow poo. It was disgusting. Was it yesterday or the day before? A couple of days ago now. Not pleasant. Pleasant, no. Father Ted says, where's my cake? Oh dear. Says that as well. Oh, Uncle Bulgaria, Boris the Womble. Yeah, crikey. Whenever we see him, we always see he's doing a bit of running down the beach, stripping off, and then go for a little swim. And then he drowns. And quite frankly, there's always a camera nearby somewhere. He don't run. He runs about 100 yards if you're lucky, and then, probably dies on the floor. I know he used to run quite a bit, but God. And then, what is it about these Tories? They've all got moves. And Michael Gove was running down the blooming street, and his little titties were going like that. They were like that. They were. I was getting quite excited. I was to realize who it was. Couldn't tell because his face was all glazed over and his eyes were bright red and that because he's just been doing a line, I reckon. Master Blackadder, I have a crafty plan. Russia has about 850,000 soldiers, including about had about 850,000 soldiers, including around about 300,000 annual conscripts. Reserves maybe around 2 million. I just see the replay of me doing this. Oh God. Oh dear, that's wrong. Sorry. And the land forces. Anyway, I better get back into what I was doing. Just trying to keep up with the chat as well. So Dickus. Right, okay. Where was I? I can't remember what I was doing. Oh. Now, I did a video about this a while back as well. It's also, the thing we don't seem to think about is, well, whenever I do any videos on this, it never does very well anyway. That's about the environment. And the damage, this is not just now, but obviously, well, obviously now as well, but in the future. You know, now, obviously, if we use less energy, we're going to need less energy, aren't we? So if you're talking about the fact that obviously the cost of energy is going through the roof and what have you, so the environmental cost of it is also going through the roof. Oh, God, I've got my worms out now. I blame the stout. Well, the cost of energy is going through the roof. And we've got two choices, really, haven't we? We either cut back or we spend more. And talking about the environment, well, then obviously we need to reduce our impact on it. And global warming doesn't stop on a dime. Either we did sort of, let's say, for instance, we could flick the switch and we're no longer burning any fossil fuels. And with no carbon, say 2050, we have no carbon net zero. And but there's committed warming. Now, luckily, they're saying committed warming is likely to last 10 years, not 40 odd years, as what was first anticipated. Now, committed warming is basically what we've been doing since industrialisation. This isn't recent. We've been doing this over a period of time. We've been warming the planet up, and the planet is figured like a storage unit. It's a heat store. Whether it be the sea, whether it be the rock, whether it be anything else, it's just one great big massive heat store. And that's what you call committed warming. Once we stop putting heat into that store, I'm not saying we should carry on putting heat in the store because that doesn't help at all. It just makes the situation worse. That heat is going to dissipate into the atmosphere over a period of time. Like I say, they're saying that we should see potential changes or relaxation of global warming in 10 years, not 40 years, which is obviously a good thing. That's what scientists are saying. But the world will still, even if we got down to net zero, we'll still be warming the planet. Not physically through our intervention, but from what we've done in our past efforts. So now, if you think of an analogy now. Let's think of an analogy. Let's a radiator, for instance. We put the boiler on, haven't we? Got a boiler. We put the gas in the boiler, heated all our radiators. So that's stored energy, the stored heat in the radiators, and constantly be replenished. Now, even though you turn the boiler off, hence gone net zero, the heat in those radiators are going to dissipate into the atmosphere. And that's effectively what we've been doing over a period of time. The radiators are the sea, the rock, anything that can store energy. So the ice will carry on melting. Even if we go net zero, that ice is still going to carry on melting. And this is me telling this, is scientists are saying this. And as a result, we are going to see rise in sea levels, because obviously we're going to be seeing... Well, we're seeing it now. Well, that big old ice shelf, I can't remember what it's called now, but the massive ice shelf that's already fell into the sea. And then we had the situation, I did a video about it a while back actually, where, I say a while back, it's probably about a week ago, how the Antarctic and the Arctic are now, they've had similar climates, which has never happened before. And the shifting north and south poles as well, that's not helping. The Gulf Stream is moving as well. The weather fronts are changing. It's just, we're just in a complete turmoil. Everything is just in a mess. The swirling we are. So, when the when the ice melts, when the ice melts, it's going to expose other problems. And these problems are more CO2. Stored CO2. Like, for instance, ice that's covering, I don't know, old forest, I don't know, whatever. Stored CO2 in the ground. Oh, that just dissipate into the atmosphere. And methane as well. Now, they say this isn't going to stop for about 100 years. That's what the scientists are saying. So we're talking about... So that's on top. That's one thing. If we went net zero, we'd be... Yeah, that would obviously... It's obviously a good thing. We've got to aim that way. But that doesn't end there. And with this war, it's exasperating the issue. We've got the toxins, for instance. Asbestos. Now, asbestos... You know about, obviously, asbestosis. You've must have heard that. Lots of people suffer from asbestosis because they've been working with asbestos. Whether it be they've been working in submarines and lagging all the pipes in submarines, or the old boiler rooms and stuff like that, and then they're taped up with the old Hessian tape. The banding. And that stuff used to come in bags, the old asbestos fibres, and the fibres just used as reinforcing. Otherwise, the whole thing would fall apart because it'd be crumbly. So it's like, it's like putting stone in your mortar to make concrete. It's the reinforcement. But this asbestos fibres is what holds the plaster. Well, it could be a plaster of Paris, it could be clay, it could be all sorts of stuff they used as a binder. And that is ending up in the atmosphere. Because in Ukraine, they've only just recently banned the use of asbestos in Ukraine. The buildings in Ukraine most of those buildings we see that have been blown up have got asbestos in them. Whether it be insulation in the roofs, or whether it be in the construction materials, sheet materials and stuff like that, got asbestos in them, so it's used as a reinforcement. Now, asbestos is actually a natural material, it's mined. And the problem with it is it's barbed. I've mentioned this before, but it's barbed. It's got these little barbs on the asbestos. It goes into your lung, you inhale it, and effectively it scars the pleural layers in your lungs. It damages them. Those little cuts, 1,000 cuts, and it heals. And that scar tissue is useless lung tissue, because we're talking about the little tiny, they call down the lungs alveoli, the little tiny tubes in the lungs. Can't remember the call now, but and they get damaged, and the lung capacity goes down, and then you basically end up going blue. Ooh, asbestosis. So yeah, scarring the pleural layers in the lungs. It's quite horrible. So Ukraine has not been very good regarding this sort of stuff for many, many years. And a lot of the reason that's because they're not part of the European Union. I'm sure there's other countries that are now member states would also have similar bad practices. Well, all these toxins and what have you, whether it be chemicals and, whether it be the old coal mines going through Ukraine, that are also flooding at the moment, and they're becoming almost like conduits for the toxins to be transported around Ukraine, all over Ukraine, around the mines and what have you, and contaminating the watercourses. And some of these old mines are even used to store toxins in. It's a bit like burying your nuclear waste, I suppose. Spotify says global warming has one positive aspect. The next ice age will come, and then we know what to do. Humanity can change global climate. That is actually a good thing in the end. At the end of the day, if the planet survives, I'm happy with that. But I think we will. Well, it's not going to happen in my lifetime. Things are changing, obviously, in my lifetime, but things are going to become more difficult, and people are going to get sicker. I remember children, and you guys, your kids. A private jet for Boris. Was he swanning about again? Just scroll up here. Dun, 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 dun. What have I missed? What have I missed? Wigan pear? Probably a Wigan pear. Oh. Putin is desperate. No, actually, Jeremy, I'll show that because that's funny. Jeremy, no, I disagree. He's already bloated with Botox. You don't want to give me a pufferfish, no. Oh, Putin is in desperate need of a something like that. Also, so you're thinking of effigy and oh my god, he's gone technical on me. I'm just repeating what I read. So entropy and entropy balance. So I see, I understand. Energy consumption will increase. Free word search on Google uses the same amount of energy as boiling a 3 kilowatt kettle. The free word search on Google uses the same amount of energy. Yes. Oh, that's a real valid point. So I'll get your point now. Abdul basically saying this: everything we do on here, even just sending texts and messages and what have you, the amount of energy spent for all these servers and the transportation of data is. Yeah, I watched something a while back actually. It's funny you've actually mentioned that because I did watch a long while. I can't remember half of it. And it basically it broke it down. I couldn't believe how much regarding the amount of energy that went in the damage you were doing just by using this. When I say this, I mean like that. Tech, Oh, come back. I'm here. Yeah, do I think about that? That'll be the next thing. We need to cut down on your energy. We think about the monitors that we use now and what have you. And I can remember my son's first ever flat screen TV because we didn't have a flat screen, and it was a plasma. That's just under 1,000 watts it was of energy per television. And my big old monitor I got downstairs on my computer down in the office. That thing is literally just around 30-40 watts. It's hardly anything. It's a tiny amount. So it's definitely heading. It's obviously because it's LED, I imagine. So definitely, and we're going in the right direction. But then at some point that would be considered high consumption. Now I'll maintain what I say is that I think we should be doing more local supply. Now, our local Lidl's, I did a video a while back, didn't I, when I was in Lidl's, a live video, which I might do another one of them actually, I quite enjoyed doing that. And it was, since then, I haven't finished it yet, all the outside, when I was standing outside, that's all now covered, and on top of the roofs is all solar panels. There's loads of them. So, God, they nicked a few. Is that called theft? I think it is. Oh, Putin is. There we go. Entropy, alphabet. I'll go check that out. Get my head around that one because that's interesting. Is terraforming the planet? Oh, you've been watching too much Star Trek. The Genesis Project. But the Russian structure is different. They lack a NSU corps. Enlisted are treated like. Oh, I see. I see. You're talking about the forces. Like NSU corps. Enlisted are treated like scum, and conscripts are below that. Oh, crikey. I don't have any choice either, do they? Did you see the clip of Matt Hancock jogging? I did. What you talking about when he's running away from the reporters when they're asking him awkward questions? So he ran off. Made some stupid 3-word slogan probably, and then run off. Entropy, gas, laws versus something. Storms, fires, droughts, disease, hunger, war. Joe, that's pretty much it, isn't it, really? It's quite frightening, really. I do worry me a hell of a lot. I've started another channel, which is it's called Earth Trifle. I've only got 100 subscribers on it at the moment. But I'm just winging it at the moment. The videos aren't great. I just get material on. And it does when you're reading this stuff, because obviously everything you get information, you try to get from science-based stuff, journals and stuff like that, and It opens your eyes. It really does. I can't remember half of it, I'll be absolutely honest. There's too much rattling around in here. None of it kind of meets up, though. It's all kind of... It's a mess in there. Every time they show climate change conferences, the power players show up in private jets, unchauffeured gas guzzlers. Well, you're right, Esther. Well, Biden, did he turn up with his entourage around 70 cars or some stupid? Well, how many jets did he bring over to be able to bring all them over? Well, something crazy. It's just nuts. And little old Greta Thunberg, she's right, isn't she? Thunberg or Thunberg? She's going blah, 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 blah. It's just all talk. I've got no faith in anything they were speaking. None of it's going to make a change. It's just an excuse to have a big old booze up. Chris Murphy says, see, XR have had oil bases for 3 days or so. Oh, I don't know. There we go. I'll be going up, 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 up. Oh, too far down. Up a bit. I wonder if there are units like the alleged NKVD units in the Great Patriotic War, checking for deserters trying to go home. Well, I think you might have a point there. Wouldn't Russia say that that's pretty much what they're going to do to anyone who defects? You know, in Russia, I'd be really worried about my family. If, for instance, I was a conscript or whatever it was, and I was fighting, and I didn't want no part of this war, and I left. You know, I defected, and I'd be worried about my family. You know, they're brutal. The regime's brutal. Anyone below anywhere below 200 metres altitude, drowned. Thank God I'm 342 metres. Thank God. That's how high we are here. So I'm okay. Phew. Great Yarmouth. Well, that'd be an island. No, it'll be gone. The railway might be still there. There might be just a railway line. Going to nowhere. On the Eagle Strait. Oh, I've got some bad news. Henry. Well, he's got a broken handle. I'm talking about our vacuum cleaner. 26 years old he is. He's got a broken handle, so I've got to repair that or get a new handle for him. How many Dysons would I have bought in that time? 26 years. I think it's actually old, 26 years. No, he's about 26 years old. It's nuts. By McGrath, this is reported that the Kherson a supporting effort. Kadyrov and VDV troops set up checkpoints to catch deserters. Oh, so they are doing it. Oh, bugger. The last TV I had was an 80s one, and it had good sound. Oh, I got a thing about sound. System we've got downstairs, I've put proper amplifier and stuff in there. Really nice setup, really. And for me, let's change that because I'm getting a bit wonky. I think the sound for me is more important than the actual picture quality. I hope my sound here is okay tonight, by the way. Apart from my squeaky voice, but I can't do a lot about that. I can have my vocal cords tuned. In the United States, can you still have the vocal cords, so the bark removed out your dog? Or has that been banned? You can't do it over here, obviously. Yeah, that definitely has been banned, I do know. Oh my God. Really, Jasper? A Kirby? You're still... What, one of them aluminium upright things? A Kirby? Did somebody knock on your door and sell you that? Because that's what they were, vacuum cleaning salesmen used to come and knock on your door. I got this Kirby. It's fantastic, it is. They were brilliantly built machines. They really were. Flipping heavy. God. He won the election today, it seems. Oh, who's won the election? Johnny Kay. How long will Victor... Oh, God, no. Hungary. How long will Viktor Orban stay in power? He can't be very popular now. Do you honestly think these elections or anything to do with Viktor Orban are legit? Because I've got my doubts. like Putin. Horrid little man. Right, I can't believe you got a Kirby. Can you still get them? Agreed. Sound is more important than visual, says Didrag. I can't say it, sorry. Yeah, I think so. These old Henrys were great, my friend. Used to sell them and fix them. Well, yeah, actually my father-in-law did as well, actually. He's worked for Cranes in Acle. And, yeah, he used to fix them there. Jim LeBrum. To see the difference in size of motors over the... Yeah, more modern. They are. And the switches are not as good either on the new ones. I think the plastic mouldings are very similar. The plastics used. Which is pretty good because they last. So, yeah, we've got our Henry. We've got a green one. And I bought that with my son. He was only 5 years old. And we've still got it. And about 26 years ago. So, yes, he's about 31 now. Orban ran on prevent Hungary from being dragged into a war. Is that what he ran on, really? Is that it? Crikey. It's in NATO, isn't it? Is it NATO, Hungary? Second hand, it was €100 and cost two. Oh, a new. Yeah, it would have been about right. They were really expensive. People's got payment plans for these Hoovers, not the Henrys, but these Kirbys that Jasper's got, and they were really well built. There's another one as well. It's a door-to-door salesman type thing. I think it was called Filter Queen. But that wasn't an upright. That was just like a Hoover type thing. But they used to sell it on the pretense that it would filter your air. You could leave this noisy old Hoover running in your living room, like do an air change, filter the air in your living room. About 1200 watts, whatever it was, constantly running. Nuts. Hungary election today. What is the exit poll predictions? Months ago, it looked like Orban would lose heavily. Suddenly, he wins. Oh God. Yeah, she support my doubts. I got. What's all with Putin, isn't it? When Putin won that election, videos came out, floating around everywhere. There's protests because of it. And then Putin, videos came out of people working in the ballot boxes and what have you, and stuff in the ballot boxes, but also they were like, erasable pens at the ballot box. So they were rubbing the pen out and stuff on the ballots. It was a campaign to ensure that Putin got in. Well, that's all that got exposed. And there was big upset in Russia over it. But no one says anything about it now. And they say it's a democracy, they voted for him. Bullshit. Oh, sorry. That's it, I'm demonetised. It's just nuts. He is virtually the only one in Europe to openly support Mr. Yeah. Yeah, it was. You're right, Johnny. A lot of bad leaders in different parts of the world. No, there are, Chris Murphy. There certainly are. Ours aren't great. But at least it is a democracy. Even though it's been, how to put it, actually maybe not in the UK. Not when you got Cambridge Analytica involved. Well, they were involved, weren't they? Chris Wiley made that quite clear that when the whistleblower and his friend, I can't remember his name, is the other guy as well, and they came clean. They were Brexiters, they were campaigning for Brexit, but they didn't like how things. They thought it was dishonest. And obviously Channel 4 then had their undercover investigation and exposed Cambridge Analytica for the con artists that they were. Now, not Chris Wiley, but his pal, what he said was that the information that with the Facebook contacts that they had from the United States, I've mentioned this before actually, but it's 275,000 contacts on Facebook. They could actually break through to every single Facebook user in the United States. And remember, they've got 350 million people. I don't know how many of them have got Facebook accounts, but it's going to be quite a large proportion. and only 275,000 Facebook contacts. And, you know, Cambridge Analytica was fraudulently using the data that they had, and Facebook didn't do anything about it. It was only when they, you know, the shit hit the fan and it became clear. Quite frankly, Facebook were complicit. And that funny, weird little guy, the one with the Lego hair, well, he got called up to several times, and it took quite a bit to get him to actually, you know, to have questions asked of him, Mr. Lego Man. I'm saying Lego Man because I can't remember his name. He's a weird looking devil, isn't he? I would doubt that the FPT were a minority and can elect a large majority as democratic. I wonder if there has been so many. Certainly not in such a populated one. I'm confused now. What? Jasper says, I got 6 performance, many attachments with his G6 performance, with his Kirby G6 performance. Come on, many attachments it did. Really? Okay, you saucy devil, you. We don't need to know that, Jasper. What you like? Damn it. Can't take him anywhere. My mother's Nilfisk. Oh, I got Nilfisk in the workshop. Brian Maguire. It's just like a Hoover washing machine. They wanted to buy it back. After they wanted to buy it back after 20 years to find out what went wrong. Yeah, Nilfisks are very good. Actually, Nilfisks are sold under lots of different. I'm talking about the more pro ones, like Makita is actually a Nilfisk Hoover. I'm talking the industrial Hoovers. Very good machines. Wonder if there'll be any. I'm confused now. Oh, cheers. Oh, nighty night, Glasgow. You take care, buddy. Oh, the force. You take care. It's getting late, isn't it? Oh, it was 11:30 for you, buddy. I bet you got to go to work tomorrow as well, ain't you? The past post is a dictatorship of the. First past the post is a dictatorship of the majority. Yes, it is, Owen. First past the post. That's ridiculous, isn't it? I mean, proportional representation is what we need. I'm not going to... Should I say UBI? No, don't go there. No, not UBI. Who dares disturb my nice, relaxing bubble bath? Who dares? Oh, hello, it's Marcus. Sorry. Do you want me to scrub your back, Duke? No? Okay. I won't. Oh dear. Anyway, where was I anyway? I was doing this. Oh, crikey. Oh my giddy aunt. Who saw... I did a little video, but it's a little short video, but... If anyone knows who... the Stop Oil campaign, it's or Stop the Oil. It's another kind of Extinction Rebellion type campaign, and one particular campaign is quite forceful. And Nathan McGavin, while Tom Swarbrick came up with a bright idea to let's interview him. Oh, it might be good. Unfortunately, it was a sticky situation for the microphone. Oh, really? No, you saucy devils, you. No, Nathan McGavin, what he did, he glued himself with cyanacrylate, super glued to the microphone. I hope it was a Newman, because they're about 10 grand. Yes, he glued himself in the studio. There he was, like this, glued to the microphone in the LBC studio. And what did they do? What were they forced to do? Instead, was basically erect the rest of Tom Swarbrick's show, and and then what do we get? We got Tory boy Andrew Pearce, and he ended up taking over. Yep, pass the baton to Tory boy. Oh, I got dogs. What? Oh, You got a bear? Oh, my Sebastian's he's got a bad chest. You got a bed?
Yeah.
Dare wife says she's back.
Going to bed.
You're going to bed, are you? Yeah. Do you want a sensual massage?
Bear stops coughing.
No. She calls me.
You.
Oh, leave the door open if you want, Dom.
Yeah. See you in a minute. We've got your phone.
You got my phone?
Turn your light.
Okay, Dom. I've got to turn my computer off as yet. In the office. It's still in standby. So anyway, what was I talking about? Anyway, I forgot what I was talking about. I was talking about Tom Swarbrick. Yeah, anyway, he had to... We ended up getting... God. I was quite interested actually about Tom Swarbrick because his show was sort of about what I want to do tonight, and then we end up with global warming denier instead. God, I can't stand that man. He's awful. Not Tom Swarbrick. He's okay. So he used to be he's Tory, but he used to be an aide to Theresa May. I wonder if it was him who suggested that she should come clean about her running through the wheat fields. Maybe? No? Okay. What's happening there? Brexiters were funded by Putin. Here they are traitors. Like they are. Acetone. Will acetone dissolve? Super good. I don't know if you get the remover stuff, can't you? Now, acetone, we used to do a lot of fiberglassing to clean your hands or dilute resin. It's vicious stuff. You can buy it in the supermarkets here in France. In the Intermarché, you can buy acetone. You try and buy that in the UK. You've got to have a licence and you've got to sign it off and stuff. And then they want to do an examination. Oh, health review. Tom Small. That's a good one. Cheers, Patty. Tom Small is nothing but a Tory lover. And he even said Liz Truss is intelligent, really. Because he sat in the same room as her. Oh, God's sake, really? Hello, Wally. What are you looking for? Oh, boy. Okay, get my dog. Wally, come on, boy. I got him. Come on. Oh, hello, Bear. Sort of smashed down there. There's my Wally. What have you been doing, fella? What are you smelling? What do you smell? I've got no treats. Actually, there might have been one down there, really. Pretty smell that. Got horrors. And you, Bear? Oh, got Sebastian. Go, Sebastian. It's a good boy. You've got no door, Oh, who's a good fella? Oh, it's not a beagle. There we are. Pandora's probably on the bed. Oh, he's off. He's off. I had enough of that. No more of that, he says. What? No, just standing there looking at me. What do you want? I've got no treats. I haven't got any. They have sausage when they go to bed, don't you? Sausage, you know, those little knacky type sausages. He's giving me the look and sort of smiling at me weirdly. Oh dear. Anyway, where was I? So, what were you saying about Tom Smallbrick? Tom Smallbrick is nothing but a Tory lover. He said, "Oh yeah, yes, we did that, didn't we?" Putin's not coming for Brexiters where he is hiding. Oh, he's in a bunker somewhere probably. Which is why the US they have an electoral college system. See. But it doesn't work. It's very complicated. When I was watching the elections when Trump got in, oh God's sake, it was a bit of an eye-opener. Very complicated. Which is why the US's electoral system doesn't work. Putin is the Brexiter. Oh, crikey, is he King Brexiter? Salicylic acid. Is that the stuff that comes from bark of willow trees? Are you talking about aspirin? Because that's salicylic acid. Is that right? To melt the skin off the microphone. Blimey. Wally time. That was Wally. Hi, Wally, says Jeremy. Yeah, he's my buddy. I do love that little dog. He's such a good boy. Well, actually, he's a really naughty boy, but because he's such a character, he gets away with murder. Boris Brexit, an island. Putin, transcontinental country. Putin is therefore a mega Brexitus. Oh dear, very good. Yeah, my little doggy, he's a great little fella. Calcium carbide. Oh, calcium carbide. What's that for the microphone? From that yank version of Boris.
And tremendously wet.
That they both are, to be fair. Oh, dear me. And I think Alexander Boris Treffel Johnson is he's no fool. He knows what he's doing, which makes him even worse. Oh, for water treatment. No, oh, I see. I thought is it selenium in dandruff shampoo as well? So you've got salicylic. Oh god, no, so it's not salicylic acid. It's not the stuff in aspirin. Cheers, buddy. He's just god.
Like you'll go person, woman, man, camera, TV.
And you get extra points. Yeah, he's just they're crazy people. Oh my god, what's happened? Oh wow. Owen Mulder got to turn in, keep up the good. Oh, cheers, buddy. Well, I'm gonna be calling it soon as well, I think. But no, I really appreciate it. I really appreciate all the support tonight. It's been fantastic. I could feed the dogs. In fact, actually, Wally himself is quite costly now because he has the medication. But we noticed a massive difference in him. We didn't actually notice that he got a little bit lethargic, and because there was a little bit over a period of time with Wally, and we didn't quite notice. And since he's had the medications, like all of a sudden, whoa, there he is. He's back to his usual self, ripping up teddy bears and stuff like that. Yeah, the sort of things that Wallies do. He's a lovely little boy. He really is. But he's a pain. Yeah. Oh, look, another shooting in the... Oh, crikey, really? There's one every so many seconds in the US? It's crazy. Erwin, yeah, take care, Erwin. Thanks, cheers up, buddy. Erwin Mulder. Got to turn in and keep up the good work. Yes, I'll try. I'll do my best, buddy. Oh, there. Lovely part of France. Yeah, it is nice here. We feel very fortunate here, and we're doing that. Wish we did this ages ago. Actually, we should have done it when we first came here. The planting the trees and what have you. The sort of rewilding thing that we're trying to do, and it's been quite an eye opener actually, and an education. Learning about the different... I always had a fair bit of knowledge about plants and stuff like that, but trees, not quite so much so. But it's been quite interesting, actually. Where you put trees, you can't put that one there, you can't put that one with that one on there, that one, because we did a bit of a menagerie of trees. And then we got... I made some more bird boxes and stuff. Not yesterday, day before. But also... like the bat boxes and stuff like that, and learning about where you put them in. And I've got the camera! I've got to set it up, but we've got a camera. We've got ourselves a because I'll put the videos on here. You see, because I thought it was quite nice to share the effects. Because we built bird boxes, and one of them's got birds in it already. Little great tip. So we're going to mount the camera nearby, and it's one of them trial cameras. We've got a reasonable one, so the pitch. Hopefully, the video will be fairly good. So I hope you can share it with you on the channel. That's quite cool. Oh, cheers, buddy. Cheers, Joa. Yeah, good night to you, buddy. Hope you have a good night. Hope you get lucky. Maybe. It's a precursor to aspirin. Oh, it is a precursor to aspirin. Ah, cheers. Yeah, something to do with the bark or something. Willow. Salix. Salix, probably what's called salicylic acid. We've got quite a few willows here, and we're putting a whole load more in. Loads of willows, because we're never, obviously with the GoFundMe, we're never going to get enough money to be able to plant about over 1,000 trees. Well, around 1,000 trees we want to plant here. We were going to be able to get enough money into it. So they're expensive, aren't they? So we're doing a load of propagation as well. And we've got 4 varieties of willow here. So it's quite nice, actually, because they're all slightly different shades of green. And then you've got the contorted one, like the twisted willows, and that with obviously with the hazelnut as well is nice. And then we've got the weeping willows and the common willow, and Floribunda, the one with the variegated leaves. So it's, because we already had them, we'd just be able to propagate them on, and they're already rooting. And you did them about 3 weeks ago, and you can't pull the sticks out now because the roots, the nodes are taken. You literally just do look. If you've ever got willow and you want to propagate willow, it's so easy. As long as you keep it moist, all you need to do is get a bucket or something, or you just in the ground, cut a stick off, a hardwood stick, so not the softwood, the hardwoods, the wooden bit, not all the green floppy wood, and just chuck it in the ground. Not root in no time. Willow. That wild to grow obviously from that, but it's a great way of Oh, I don't know if you heard, but apparently there's 37 billion apparently has been lost in fraudulent claims we got on the pandemic. People got like COVID loans and stuff like that. I wonder if the 1.5 million's including that, which Rishi Sunak's wife got for her, was it Mrs. WordPress or whatever it's called, the company that went bankrupt just after receiving the COVID loan and she went bankrupt for 16 million on that particular company. But she's all right because she got 430 million quid worth shares in Infosys. Yeah, she got 1.5 million quid. It's just wrong, this is. 1.5 million quid from the taxpayer. And the taxpayer is now having to pay huge amounts of money. 54% increases for gas. Oh, by the way, the gas price is increasing in France. I thought it'd be, to be fair, but 4%. 4%. It's just nuts. And you've got the North Sea. Crazy. What? 37 billion though. What? Is that including track and trace? Because it's a very similar figure, isn't it? With the track and trace. I would say that's pretty fraudulent. So that means it's 74 million, probably. Billion, not million, billion. God. Oh, night P. Dallas. Take care, buddy. Good night, Joe. Thanks again, buddy. Thanks for joining us here. It's been really quite cool. I don't know. I quite enjoy doing this. I get really nervous when I first go on. I think, I haven't got everything ready. And I'll be absolutely honest with you. I haven't done everything I wanted to do. It's kind of gone a bit pot because I messed up right at the beginning. Big time. Oh dear. What? How dare you go to sleep? No, don't go to sleep. Guards, arrest them. What? What do you mean? They'll have to go on to bed too. Oh, okay. Made aspirin in the chemistry class. Oh, did you? Organic chemistry A level. We tried to make explosives. Nitroglycerin. And we did, well, okay, what a bang. Very little bit. Oh, okay. Very good. I used to love science class. The only thing I remember about science classes now is the fact that I've got a load of science class worked tops. From the old, I don't know what it's like in the EU, but in UK, all the classrooms and science labs all had hardwood tops. And it was either teak or iroko, so it was a swamp wood basically. So and that's what I got on my worktops in my kitchen. So I managed to get a hold of this from literally put in a skip. Now at the time, I don't know what it is now, but at the time, teak was 4,000 pounds per cubic metre. And this is all this teak, it's just shoved in skips. Can't remember how many sheets that I got, tops I got, quite a few, about 15 or 20 of them. I've only got about 2 left now. Making various stuff. But it's marked, it's obviously got stains and stuff like that, but it's actually good. I like that. It looks good. The night, Brian. You take care, buddy. Thanks for sticking with us so long. It's been cool. Brian, my guy. Let's dash on. Oh. I'm gonna call it a night as well soon. So it's over 3 hours, I think. 3.5 hours. My God, these streams are getting longer and longer and longer. Oh my giddy aunt. How do I talk for so long? Oh, Jasper says, yeah, we're trying to encourage the blue tits. I mean, I put some boxes in for the blue tits as well, but the holes for the blue tit about 25 millimeters, but the great tits can be a bit bigger. They're about 32 millimeters. So in diameter, that is. So, but we seem to be getting more great tits. Oh, we saw big robins this morning, yesterday as well, when they had the snow on the ground. Quite a bit of snow yesterday. That was surprising. Well, I think we're going to call it with... Oh, well, before I do, though, I just want to share something with you. I was reading earlier. You know Sarah Vine, that's Michael Gove's wife. I think she's to write for the Daily Mail or something like that. So she clearly is not a very nice person. Well, her and Michael Gove split up recently. I think they're probably divorced now by now. Well, she feels sorry for David Warburton. Nothing to do with the bread, no. I don't think so, anyway. That's the Tory MP has just been accused of sexual assault of 3 women. She says she feels sorry for him. What's that say about her? Oh. Is it the cocaine abuse? Maybe. Taking secret money off the Russians? Maybe. I think she definitely is friends of Natalie Elphicke, maybe. I can't be certain, but did Natalie Elphicke go back to her husband? Because he went inside for sex abuse, didn't he? Sex offender. He got a custodial sentence. He's been released since, but I think she's took him back. What's that say about these people? Nuts. Just was a great tits, blue tits, yellow tits, and big tits. Thanks for that, Jasper. Thanks for sharing. Who said again? Night Pay Dollars, yeah. What? Scroll down. I missed people. If you add up 24,000 households and multiply by 850, okay, what is referring to? I don't know. I'm confused. Nay, loot station Rondola. I'm not pronouncing it right. What's that mean? Brian Maguire responding probably to conservator. They got a little conversation, little conflab going on here. Oh, yeah, if you haven't done so, hit the like and subscribe button, please. That'd be most kind. I'll press my little button then. That's what happened there. That's cool, isn't it? Time to scoot. Same here. And you have a good one too, Spartafly. Appreciate you being there, buddy. Elphicke says doing vengeance. Yeah, not the Elphicke. She's such an idiot, isn't she? She's just, oh, there be. And these people get voted in. I know it's probably safe constituencies. I think it wasn't her husband, the MP for Dover at the time. Stage fright. She took over. She did. Oh, Jim just answered my question. Thanks, Jeremy. Yeah, she took over her husband's constituency in Dover. It's nuts. Absolute nuts. Secrets. Oh, that's all about secrets. It's all secrets. You got a little secret going on there, have you, buddy? Oh, dear. Anyway, cricket batteries. Zebediah Thomas says, cricket batteries. Willow grows best near rivers and lakes and down there. We're quite fortunate here for our willow. Our willow does really well here because we've got water sources going under our land. And when I went live the other day in the garden, I was in front of the greenhouses. It actually bleeds out of there during the winter period when we have a lot of downfall, or even in June when we have a lot of rain. You can see if you dig down, you can see it basically bleeds through the land, and But we've got a variety of different water sources, so we could put a well anywhere, really. But, so the willow does well. Yeah, we've got quite a bit of willow that does well here. So I don't know why, we're quite high up, we're about 340 metres up, so we're quite high. Where we're on the top of a valley. Fuel prices increase and investments by energy companies in security. Really? Okay. Good point, yeah. So we're paying for their, well, unless you talk about they've made that money on past investments. But you look at these people, like for instance the water companies, they're pumping shit in the rivers. They're blaming, oh, this really bugs me, this does. Give me a sec, I'm just going to talk about and all that, yeah. Because it gets my nerves. I keep hearing they're blaming the Victorian sewage systems. Now that's all very well in the cities and in London and places like that. We've got the Victorian sewage systems. How the hell is the sewage getting to the CSOs, the combined sewage outlets, and end up in the sea and the rivers when the outlets are near the sewage plants? Generally. So by getting it to the sewage plants, doesn't that mean that the actual Victorian sewage works, the pipes under the ground, are actually transporting the sewage? I think it does, doesn't it? So these companies just don't want to admit that they've been extracting money out of the industry, out of the infrastructure, such as the plant itself, the sewage works, by not investing in it. Obviously, there's more poo now than there was before. You can't get away from that. There's more people, And also, the combined sewage outlets also takes the water from the roads and stuff like that, and weather's become more diverse. So if it's getting to the sewage outlets, the combined sewage outlets, well, obviously it's just the sewage plants that are to blame. It's got nothing to do with these things. I'm not saying they don't need replacing, because they clearly do, because they've got fatbergs in them. Yeah, they've got loads of Alexander Boris-Stefan Johnsons floating through the sewers. He's a right old turd, isn't he? Oh, did she... Oh, is it? Okay. There you go. Mellow. Did she said that she needs him so she can... What? What? Oh my god, really? Okay. I can't say it, but I hear what you're saying. Mellow. Health and safety was 0 in 1976, exactly. In chemical classes, strong acids, their OM rate. Trucky. Well, like I was saying earlier, you can get like acetone, you can get sulfuric acid. There's 2 types of sulfuric acid you can get in supermarkets. They're used for cleaning, and obviously drain cleaning and stuff like that as well. But you can just go to the supermarket and you pull it off the shelf, put it in your shopping trolley and pay for it. Whereas in the UK, you'd have to have a certificate. And when I was working in the UK, when we get chemicals and stuff like that, we have certification for the user. But if you're a limited company, you could get away with it. You could do it and as a limited company, you could go and get these chemicals, which we were. But we'd it was a palaver, and you had to jump through hoops. But not here, not in France. Get all sorts of acids. Just melt people. Why not? Hey-o. Not a problem. They're nasty people. Ooh. Health and safety, 0 1970s, yes. Well, EU's good for that health and safety, but Oh, Brian Maguire said. Oh God, that's Dutch again. Netherlands, a virus-infected dialects. Really more. Oh. They're passing through unprocessed. Yeah, you're talking about, the CSOs, the combined sewage outlets, are literally it's just human feces and urine is just going down these pipes, and it's ending up in the sea and the rivers in the UK. And isn't just that, it's also, we get a lot of problems with water runoff. Someone was saying that to me earlier, actually, one of my comments. I do, even though I don't comment so much, because I just don't get time. I'm dealing with flipping bot comments at the moment. A nightmare. It's not poo, it's fertilizer. You're right, conservator, that it is. But it's got pathogens in it until it's got hot enough to get rid of them. You need to compost it first. Anyone's got a composting toilet, they'll know that. Yeah, so these nitrates are ending up in the watercourses. From some bad farming techniques, such as like intensive farming, such as these fertilizers that we're very short of, and it's very expensive. But the fertilizers themselves are contaminating the watercourse. Now, I did mention it in a previous stream. Actually, my daughter, a friend of theirs, done a water test on their tap water, and it was dangerously high in nitrates, and that was the tap water. That's been to one of these flipping processing plants. So it's just nuts. Has anyone dunked Pretty Patel in water to make sure it's not a witch? Yeah. Yeah, duck and stool. I can build you a duck and stool. Who wants a duck and stool? Tourniquet. It's not poo, it's fertilizer. Population in UK cities hasn't increased that much, and the amount of concrete tarmac has. Yeah, so that causes problems as well, doesn't it? This is not going to absorb into the ground. It will end up down into groundwater, to the sewage system again. Now, if in the UK, maybe not here so much, but in the UK, you have a thing called soak away. Obviously, in the UK, not what soak away is. It takes the water and basically dissipates it into the land for groundwater and roof water, like your gutters and stuff, to go into your soak away. And there's various ways of building soak aways. So basically, a deep hole, you get down to sand, and you fill it up with rocks and what have you, and you cap it, you put soil back on top of it, and that'll be your soak away. That'll last several years. The other way was you could do a brick, like a herringbone brick soak away, so you end up with a really supported soak away, and then you can actually have a driveway over the top of that with no problems at all. It'll take the weight of cars and stuff. But generally, soak aways will put into your lawn or your grass. But if you see like a dip, usually that's where the soak away would be, because after a period of time it consolidates. Health and safety 0. I don't know really, didn't I? Oh no, Brian Maguire's gone all Dutch on me. That looks like Dutch to me. Dig a well. We have got a well, buddy. We dug a well. You know what? I need to put some pictures together, and maybe I'll put it into a post or something in the community chat or something. And got loads of me and Darren, my son Darren, we dug the well here. It was one of the first things we did when we came here. We didn't know we had a water source behind the house. It's literally a spring, running water beside the house. It was covered in rock. You couldn't see it, but there was a spring there. We didn't know. Do know. We wouldn't have needed to dig the well. We could have just capped that spring. That's what we could have done. But never mind. Shit in rivers and seas is okay if it's just a little. Yeah, of course. But human shit is so full of... that's a valid point. Medication. And the fatbergs, because obviously we use a lot of oils and stuff, and also in our skin. Every time, you shed oil, don't you? Every time you have a shower or bath, you're washing oil down the old sink. And then, you get some idiots they'll pour their cooking fat down the sink as well. Like your chip fry or something like that. Nuts. Probably when it's hot. Do you been a lot of good? Ends up more of like a squished one. Have form, it though. Have form. Jasper Edwards says, I don't like Dutch trains. I couldn't comment. I don't know. Get Mellow. Pretty Patel needs to cross it alone in a bucket. Swim for life. Yeah. Evil Patel. Now, they talk about swimming across rivers and stuff. Now, when I was a kid, what did I do? What my dad did. I didn't realise he was a Brexiter. And at Cossey Mill in Norwich, it's on the west side of Norwich. It's an old stream. It's part of the River Wensum, and it's all stone and whatever. You can walk across it and stuff. But it's quite parts of it's quite deep. And especially when you get close to where the old mill was, the mill pond. Well, my dad told me of a trick that him and his a biscuit tin. They made a diving diving helmet from a biscuit tin, and the idea is they were going to try to straps around it to hold it down, so obviously the air in it didn't lift off their heads. and they cut the front out and put a bit of perspex or a bit of plastic in whatever they had in the front, sealed it, and they walked under the river. Now I know my dad. That is most definitely true. I wouldn't be, you know. I tried and failed. It just kept popping off my head. No matter what I did with it, it just wanted to pop off my head. And I was with my friend Mitchell Neal. We're trying to. This was not down River Brenton. This was down there. This was near Whitlam, actually, near the sewage works. There's a place there. That's the thing people realise. There's the sewage works on the other side of the river. It's on the River Yare. This is, and there where it used to be. Not far from River Green, where Hearts Cruisers boatyard used to be on the island. And we tried it, and we tried, it didn't work. No, not for us. What's that? Why not? I quite like them both, to be honest. Oh, okay. Dutch. Well, I have to admit, the trains here in France are very good. I don't know what they're like in them. And I actually, also to be fair, I got the train from Norwich to the airport at Stansted. And the new train is a brand new train, and it goes all the way through one hit now. Where it used to stop, you have to do a changeover. And it was spotless, that train was. And it was quick, it was efficient. I couldn't knock it. I was really, really impressed, actually. So, yeah. And it was fairly quick. Nothing like the old train they used to have. That was horrible. Stink of fags and sweat. It's 4 feet high and 4 feet across. she reminds me of the penguin. I did I did a picture of her as the penguin. When Danny DeVito was the penguin. Yeah, I put a face on Danny DeVito. Penguin body. I'm happy to live here, actually. Not in the city, just 20 minutes from the city centre. Best of both worlds, says Conservator. Oh, that's good. Your car was covered in snow the other day, I saw. Conservator. We had a lot of snow here and all. Crikey. 2 weeks previous to that, it was covered in Sahara dust. Turned it into pumpkin hair in Wales. What? It's no. Oh, okay. Oh, I got stuck on the train. Half my luggage on platform, half on the truck. Oh dear. With me and the luggage, oh crikey. Blimey, that could have been serious, Jasper. Jasper said I got stuck on the train. Half his luggage was on the platform and half of him was on the train. Oh, that'd been interesting. Be like one of them scary movies. Oh, show that one. Pretty nasty, Patel. She's awful. She's just a nasty, nasty person. Someone who's, you know... I just don't get that. Well, I did say I was going to go earlier, and it's nearly 4 hours. Oh my God, I've been doing this for 4 hours? Really? Oh, it's 1 o'clock. That explains. I sort of went live, not on time. It's about 10 minutes late when and I still wasn't organised. I'm terrible. I am. I need to get my head around this. But I did it without doing an actual script this time, and I think it felt better to me. I hope it was okay. But I'm trying to get organised, because what I did was literally a whole load of bullet points. Then again, saying that, it's still about, how many words is that on bullet points? It won't be as many, obviously, bullet points. 900 words still. Those bullet points. God, that's nuts. Obviously, you don't say everything. It's just like key points to remind me of what I've sort of found out about it. But anyway, oh God, I'm really tired. And I slur when I'm tired. You probably noticed. Met art. God, all European. Oh, okay. God, all Eastern European ladies. Ooh. Scroll down. Yeah, no, time to go. It's got to be time to go now. It really has. I had a bike and luggage too. Many bikes on there. Oh, crikey. Well, they do like their bikes in the Netherlands, and so do I too. So on that note, I'm going to say, oh, love you and leave, I suppose. Oh, don't forget to click the bell. Go. Click the like button. Click the like button if you've done so already. Well, there's only 25 people there now because everyone's gone to bed. I don't blame them either. That's where I should be. And probably going to work tomorrow as well. Crikey. Well, it's been a good one. I've enjoyed it. So I hope it's been good for you guys too, guys and gals. And I will do some casual streams as well, probably during the week. And I'll carry on doing I'm only doing one video a day at the moment because my videos are done really badly at the moment. And I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I need to get my head around what I'm doing wrong to find out what's happening. It might be just because of the war. Don't know. Maybe. We'll see. But hey, these things are sent to try us. That they are. So anyway, I am going to say good night. So good night, Jeremy, and he said good night, and everybody and all. Very low flotation here. Very low flotation centre. What? But she floats. Oh, I see. Oh, talk about Pretty Patel. Pretty Patel, she floats, but upside down. I'll tell you what, if anyone's made model boats before, never thought about a keel, they always end up upside down. Yeah, I agree. A conservative. I don't think that was a very pleasant experience for Jasper either. Oh, crikey. I did say I was going to go. Good night, everybody. Good night, Gingers. Good night, Conservator, Jeremy Golf, and everybody who's still here. And Simon Says, Patty J. Oh, and who's Zebediah? Ooh, who else? Who else can I see? Any messages? Other than that, I don't know. Duke Vengeance. So, yeah, I'm going. I have to go. The missus came in early and she was telling me, she was giving me the, you've been online for a while. Got to do as I'm told you now. I'm under the thumb, I am. Will you report her? No? Okay. I suppose I have to suffer it then. Do you know what? I actually thought that she was she's visiting the UK, you see. I thought it was tomorrow. She's here for another week. Damn, I was going for a holiday. My holiday's been postponed. Oh dear. Okay. Anyway, I'm off. Ta-ta. Are they still here? Oh, really? Maybe. Oh, let's have a bit of music. She's coming for me. Ta-ta.